only have to look as far as your local Wisconsin high school. You know, the place where the games are exciting, concessions are affordable, and the parking is free. Where the emphasis is on hustle and heart instead of hype. If you prefer real, honest-to-goodness sport played for all the right reasons, you'll find it at your hometown high school. High school sports. Games are being played this weekend at a Wisconsin high school near you. Okay, everybody, who's in?
This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I'm Scott Dolphin. The Brewers scored 6 runs in the 8th inning, and they made it stick. They beat Tampa Bay 8-2 at American Family Field in that series finale. Bryce Terang went 1 for 2 with the homer. Christian Yelich with 2 big RBIs. Garrett Mitchell also drove in a pair. And on the mound, Jacob Mizorowski struck out 7. Aaron Ashby and DL Hall combined 3 scoreless innings. The crew went 5-1 on that season-opening homestand. The Brewers hit the road tomorrow to face the Kansas City Royals. The Bucks, a 119-113 loss in Houston last night. Usman Jang was impressive. Career-high 36 points. Cormac Ryan added 25 off the bench. Pete Nance finished with 23 for Milwaukee. They return home tomorrow night to take on the Boston Celtics. Marquette guard Michael Phillips II announced that he's coming back to campus next year. He appeared in 28 games off the bench for MU last season. And Bill Self has announced that he will return as the Kansas head coach for the 26-27 season. The Huddle is next. I'm Scott Dolphin on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Dillard for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip, don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
It's the Thursday edition, a rainy Thursday edition of the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. We're worldwide on the iHeart app, streaming live for you early risers, insomniacs, sociopaths waiting for the Stairmasters to open up at the health club.
I get them reps in, baby.
We're here for you. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Thursday in the good land. It's ugly out there. It's dark. It's rainy. It's cold.
Would you call this a wintry mix? Would this qualify?
Yeah, not quite a wintry mix. It's just raining on my drive in.
Mm-hmm.
But
Just
kind
nasty.
of freezing rain a little bit. It's a little warm. It's like just around freezing. So the roads were okay. Just,
I did have to
see.
I did have to take a screenshot of my my weather app this morning that said that it was 29 degrees with snow with a high of 64.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's one of those moments where you have to let Wisconsin it up and celebrate the fact that we can, generally see 3 to 4 seasons in one day. You're not that lucky. Not that lucky when you're the Tampa Bay Rays. That's why they kept trying to extend the game yesterday by throwing it all over the yard to try to stay a little bit. They wanted to experience what this Wisconsin April is like. And there was no fooling yesterday. That defense was actually happening at American Family Field. That was awesome.
Yeah, when you put the Rays defense on rookie mode, or wherever they say that, right? Basically, you play them on easy mode where they can't complete a throw over to first. That's for sure. It's what it seemed like most of the game. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those days. It's hard to believe at this time of year it's going to get to 60. Just like yesterday. It was hard to believe. Nobody had it on their bingo card that CB Bucknor would leave the stadium in a standing ovation from the crowd. Nobody had that.
Nobody had that on the bingo card. And that just goes to show you that in sports, One of the things I've learned over these many years, boys, is that in sports, when you go into an event expecting something to happen, oftentimes you get the exact opposite.
Yes, that's true. Truth
There
is
are
stranger
times
than
when
fiction.
I remember you cover a game and it's like, okay, we got, Kershaw's facing, insert Verlander here. This is going to be a tough, and it's like 12-10. How did that come on?
And both guys out in the fourth inning. What you came to the ballpark to find and what you came to the ballpark expecting. Go stop at the Heavenly Roasted Nut Stand and just sit back and enjoy the show, because that was a different one there yesterday.
No doubt. So CB Buckner, and he got dinged in the second inning, top of the second inning. It was like the third batter, and he gets smoked. And it's like, I couldn't tell the way the helmet was, and I didn't see a really good replay of it, but I think he got it in the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a
right
concussion,
in the teeth.
Right in the soup coolers.
But that does happen. That does happen.
It happens, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he gets it. And to that point, I don't think he'd missed a pitch. He'd been pretty good.
It was locked in.
And I'm thinking to myself, after the first inning, it's like, all right, when's CB going to be? When is he going to CB? And I thought, well, if there ever was a time that this guy was humbled and on his game, it would have been yesterday.
Yeah, he was going to be dialed in.
Because he was ridiculed over the weekend, and then he was ridiculed nationally, worldwide,
all over
for the play at first base the other night. And then he gets behind the plate, and his first two innings, they're like, hey, well, he hasn't missed one yet. And he's like, hey, well, how about this? Maybe we'll have it. And Rasmussen and Miz were ready, I think, to give us a good pitcher's duel. And then I think Miz definitely, I think they both got a little bit jumbled because
no doubt.
The delay was so damn long.
Yeah, and you could tell, like, just sitting in the stands, all of a sudden, once the second base umpire makes the move into the clubhouse, you knew they weren't going to let him go. But CB was doing anything he could to try to convince him he was ready to play, or that he was ready to call some balls and strikes. It was, brother, we're going to get you out of here as soon as possible, because fellow man can tell when another is in peril. And both Contreras and Fortes were like, hey, man, I've taken a ball off the face, no pause. Yeah. Being back here in the gear, there's no way you're going to be okay here in a second.
That's the situation where you tell your guy, hey, leave while you're up, like at the casino, like one of those things. You don't want to go back
while you're up.
You know what I mean?
You mean standing upright?
I mean, like you said, he had done pretty well to that point.
Because the fact that he was standing and once he got up was like, okay, but
look, there's zero other scenario.
He was on Goofy Street.
Well, there's zero other scenario. You could be a perfect part of that day where you're getting a standing ovation from the crowd.
Yeah.
So just leave while you're up.
No umpire has ever gotten a standing ovation, Armen. Even there was a guy who pitched a perfect game.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
No one's ever gotten.
No. And like, so people are going to cheer for you. And then it's like, all right, you have a plausible deniability on anything now, but the thing is, I didn't like yesterday a lot of the jokes. I get the jokes was like karma, this is karma, this is that. I don't like that. I mean, we're talking about a guy's health.
My first thing when I didn't realize it was going to be serious was ball don't lie.
Well, I get that. Like that was all of our instincts.
That's the ball don't lie. Or and the thing about baseball is the game finds you, because the guy who made an error to open up the Brewers beginning had just entered the game at short.
Yep.
And the guy who dropped a throw at first had just moved over from third. It's like the ball finds you, man. Like you can't put Timmy Lupus out in right field without expecting a screaming line drive.
It's coming your way, no doubt.
His way, because that's baseball. #baseball. We put a guy in. What could happen? Ball finds you.
3 straight right over there, get peppered.
And it is true. You always say the opposite usually happens. I mean, that's like kind of the opposite, but not really, because like nobody really expects. It is just truth is stranger than fiction that he became the story, but in the way nobody thought it would possibly happen.
Yeah, and now he's a sympathetic figure. But that was actually pretty good for him for his Q rating.
Different turn, yes.
The Rays broadcast did mention when Yandy Diaz hit the homer off Miz that after the delay, his fastball, which was at 101, 100, went to like 96, 97. That 4 makes a difference. So I think there's something to that. I mean, the delay definitely changed things up in that game and changed
in that moment. Yeah, but Miz still had a quality start, got through 6. It was a good ball game yesterday for the Brewers. A 5-1 homestand. Can't script it much better than that.
No, and basically coming back in just about every single game, being able to be the exact Brewers that you kind of were in 2025, Drew. And we talk about it all year, and we will. It'll be one of those just dead horses, it feels like, that you continually pound. But it's a cliche and a classic. You got to learn how to win differently. You can't just pull over all of the magic and the excitement and the comeback energy that you had a year ago. But it sure seems like they got a decent amount of it. It sure seems like when you have the backbone of the top of that order still being consistent and still being the same, it's going to be hard to completely break that rhythm and go away from who you've been. I mean, when Christian Yelich is going to be having the clutch factor in the first week and a half that he had so far here at home, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a lot more fun. And this is a lot more fun to do than last year when I had to figure out where our shipment of torpedo bats were.
Yeah, that's right.
I like this one a lot more than figuring out why the FedEx truck was taking so long to deliver Rhys Hoskins the torpedo bat.
Very much so. So Brewers off to a great start at the old ballpark. We're in that weird period now where you got the first off day.
The first experience of off days
off day after
baseball
opening
season.
day
Yep,
doesn't count because it's like you're still opening day as its own kind of standalone entity. But now we're in the rhythm of the season and you expect baseball every day and it gets pulled from you for an off day.
That's true.
And then you have that long ass wait between 4:00 when the game ended yesterday, 3:40 or whatever it was. And then now they don't tee it up again until Kansas City tomorrow night.
And then you realize, man, I really got to start watching something. Like, I really got to find something to do other than watching sports.
Because last night, show or something like that.
Yeah, man. Last night I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my wife, and we got like the 98th different Vegas Mad videos scrolling through, and probably have watched him play this exact same slot machine 9,000 times.
It's the algorithm. Don't worry,
And I'm
Billy.
like,
It's not your fault. It's the algorithm.
I got to find something else to do because now there's going to be this is the spot, Drew, where the night of the Wednesday game into Thursday, you're just sitting around just picking slivers out because you got nothing else to do.
No doubt.
If you need something, I got plenty of videos of guys making meat and sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. There's some
I like
good
those.
stuff.
But I mean, I'm thinking like maybe you ought to dive into like Landman or something like that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I got to find something. I got to find something that I'm
looking
going to
into
enjoy.
that too. My wife's like, hey, we can start watching Landman now. I'm like, really? Because we didn't have, I guess, Verizon gave us Paramount or something.
Oh,
okay.
Top miniseries right now that are fast-paced, bingeable, doesn't require a long-time commitment, according to some things I'm searching here. Chernobyl on HBO, Severance, The Queen's Gambit, The Good Place, Arcane.
Gambit was good. I watched that.
Yeah, so there's some stuff there for you, Billy.
Well,
I mean, History Channel on YouTube's always got some good like mini, modern Marvels docs or something like that you could exercise.
I was gonna say, I've seen so many different World War II 25-minute miniseries that I don't know I gotta see any more of.
I kept watching replays of Artemis 2 go up in the air yesterday. The liftoff yesterday. We're going up the moon.
The visuals from people taking videos in planes. That was awesome.
Everyone's got their own video now. It used to be just had the one view of the news channel
That's
that was on, but everyone's got their own videos on the internet now. So, I mean, maybe that's something to dive deep into.
I'm glad that they said we're going to get closer to living on the moon and Mars.
Let's go.
Now, I don't know anybody that I've talked to that has any interest in doing it.
Well, the NFL does. I'm sure they're getting ready to put a franchise there. I'm sure Goodell's eyeing them for a Super Bowl,
A Wednesday game.
We want to be Wednesday.
You just throw them into the rumor mill so you can juice up the price for the next couple teams.
That's true, yeah. So
European
Venus knows
teams.
that they got to spend a little
That's
bit more.
the third site for the Bear Stadium.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
That was well done. I'm proud of you.
There you go.
Thought about that.
Nice work.
Hey,
Kevin
you can
Warner's
reach
in
us today at 877-794-1973. So if you have any binging suggestions for Billy, we'll gladly take them because you do need something to change up. Because I'm getting sick of watching guitar instructional videos.
This stuff you always have on your own. I mean, algorithm.
Hey, unlock the secret. I'll give you 20 years of. It took me 20 years to learn this secret. It's going to transform your playing. No, it's not. I'm still going to suck. It's just you're just teaching me a different scale. Come on.
Hey, Billy, I found a Bulls-Bucks game from '92. If you want it,
I saw you put that out. I
watching that, Armen. It's just awful.
Oh man, you know what's awful was remembering how bad Anthony Avent was and some of that lineup in '92. Now that was awful. This game has changed.
Was Ala Abdel Nabi on the team?
Ala was on the team. Blue Edwards was our star. Todd
Eric
Day
Murdoch
couldn't make a shot. Eric Murdoch.
Mayday. Todd Day.
I'll tell you what. I mean, the NBA game. It's true. The game has changed. It has evolved. I mean,
it is a much different product.
Some of the offensive possessions in that game, of course, it was the Bucks. The Bulls looked better, but it depended on the situation.
Well, and
but
I got the old Fear the Deer Bucks hoodie on here today in honor of seeing Brandon Jennings throwing out the first pitch yesterday, celebrating at American Family Field.
Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, let's go.
We got to talk about Brandon Jennings because he's becoming Mr. Milwaukee.
It's wild.
I got the feeling, and I was around when Brandon burst on the scene, and I was in the building. I was doing the sidelines the night that he scored 55, right? That night, and so
you were you were doing the interview.
And Brandon is like, I always got the feeling that he didn't want to be in Milwaukee and didn't dig it, like it. But then the Bucks in 6 thing, and when the Bucks resurged, the Bucks had a kind of reached out at olive branch to him, welcomed him back, and now he's becoming like our guy. He's threw out the first pitch yesterday. He's in the stands. Did you see his tweet?
Might have. I saw the young kid there, and that made me feel quite old when I realized that youngster was born right around the time that I was in that.
Brandon's the Bucks have done a collaboration. They put out like a Jack Daniel's Special Reserve whiskey thing. He did a collab. He did an event at Carnivore this week.
My man was pulling pull tabs.
Pull tabs?
Yeah, I mean, 13 hours ago. Brandon Jennings, high key. I got to move back to Milwaukee or get a spot in the city. It's becoming a must.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Brandon Jennings, ladies and gentlemen. He's been embraced. He's felt the embrace of, he maybe as a youngster, he didn't, want to. He didn't want to like put down roots here. Now he's realizing, hey, it's a pretty good life here.
Yeah,
liking me.
And not too surprising for a 19-year-old that was the toast of the town. And Oak Hill Academy. I don't know that it's in a booming metropolis.
Then he went and played in Europe,
and then you go and play in Italy, and get that kind of life.
And he didn't get much time there, so that was a big factor where he was actually wanted by somebody.
And it was a little bit different. I mean, now you go and eat Italian pasta and pizza and then a Major Goolsby's burger and wings before games. Like, you're going to realize this is a different life that you're going to be able to have here.
Yeah, but he might like that better. See, I never got the sense he didn't like that, like living here and stuff.
He had himself plenty of fun, no doubt about it. But it is one of those times where
with Steven Jackson, they ran it hard.
Stack. Remember the year
that little corridor of the lockers is still one of the absolute marvels of the world, where Brandon Jennings, Steven Jackson, and Monte Ellis all would live in one spot.
And that whole year they tried to market it as like Brandon and Monte. We're going to do that, the Laverne and Shirley promo, like the whole that's our special duo and things like that.
Or tossed a Ron Lamb in there, and when he was 19, they were teaching him how to go get his driver's license. That was one of the better moments in the locker room.
Oh my gosh, you
don't have a driver's license?
Yeah, no, Billy, you should have a podcast about all the stuff you saw off the air. You should have a podcast of all the stuff you saw as a ball boy with those teams with Stack and everybody.
But BJ was one of those guys that you could tell he had some. He was raised right and had a soft spot in his heart for the people that'd be around him. And it is cool to see him come back with a number of different, with all the pageantry that he has, because Drew, there were a lot of dark times there in that spot. He was the first draft pick outside of after the Joe Alexander, the Yees, of all the misses in the top 10. You're like, holy cow, we got one that can actually put the basketball into the basket, and we can play for 40 minutes in a game.
That's absolutely true. And I've tried to think deeply about why Brandon Jennings specifically has had this effect on the Bucks and Bucks fans over these many years. And I think it's actually pretty clear when you think about it. He was the first one, as you said, Billy, to represent hope for a fan base. When we were pretty hopeless, I mean, Bucks fans were pretty hopeless about even having this franchise still around, and he represented hope. And that fateful night crystallized it, the night you were there, Drew, where he didn't necessarily sustain the career greatness that he showed that rookie year. But that night, that moment, that season represented hope.
Point. Yeah. It gave him hope. That was his 7th game in the NBA. He was held scoreless in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. That's the most amazing thing about that night, by the way.
55 in the game, and it was just insane. And you're right. That was like, it put a lot of wind in the sails for the franchise. And then his Bucks in 6 declaration, joke at the time, now became a mantra, and it's the legacy now, because the Bucks won their championship in 6 with Giannis after he was gone, and Brandon was in the house. But his biggest contribution to the franchise, that moment and the hope that he created, is like, finally, maybe we'll get out of the woods, we'll get out of the wilderness. I mean, the other part of his resume is that he was traded for Chris Middleton.
Yes. Who was the biggest part of who was the biggest throw-in that there may have ever been in a deal, where it's the trade for the Brandon Jennings and Brandon Knight. And this guy, Chris Middleton, 2nd-round pick from Texas A&M,
and some Russian guy.
Even up the salaries for everybody.
And Vyacheslav Kravtsov or somebody like that.
You knew that the
salad? I call it the crab soft salad.
I like that one. You could tell that the Chris Middleton inclusion in that trade was exactly how we all viewed it when my man was out at the milk house.
Yes.
Like he stood next to us at the milk house.
That's your assignment, guy.
For a good 45 minutes to an hour. And he's like, so where do you go to school? And I'm like, dude, you're in the NBA. I think we should be asking you the question.
Nice guy.
I think people should be asking you the questions, not you being too nice to everybody else.
And little did you know that one day that guy was going to hit the clinching shot in game 6. Like, you know what I mean? How cool is that in a way? But Chris was always a nice guy in that regard. He was the ultimate throw-in, and sometimes that's how things go.
Hilarious.
And he became the star of that trade and star of that team.
Yeah, Brandon Jennings, he kicked around a while, and then the Bucks brought him back. He played for the Herd. He kind of finished up here, 17?
I was going to say 17 or 18 into that run.
That mix.
Yeah. The other, and one of the hilarious moments of being a ball boy in that run that first year was because Jennings also was like the only Buck that I had ever had in my lifetime that had his own shoe. Right, that was in the shoe game, was going with Under Armour, which is cool. It was like their start into the game, start into NBA. And he walks out after the 55-point game, and they put out this sweet red double nickel shoe, right? And it had right on the tongue 55 points and the date of the game. Mm-hmm. So he got all the ball boys and everybody in the front office those shoes for the playoffs. And you want to make sure everybody had them things on. You want to make sure that if we're putting them things on your feet, you're putting them on your feet and being out here. And Calvin Sampson was out there as well. He goes, the hell. You got the ball boys over here getting some. I saw over this ticket sales guys got some. BJ, I'm out here every single day with you, and I don't have one damn pair of your shoes. He got one pair of your shoes. He goes, Coach, you got 15 of them back there. Don't you start here with me, and you're wearing your Adidas right now. We're going to have some problems.
That's great.
Calvin Sampson had to go and change those out of
Change
before game 3. Some of you could have some good juju.
Cult hero, Brandon Jennings, back. And great to see him. Our buddy Mike Vassallo was taking selfies with him on the field and stuff.
And he was locked into the game. Brandon also tweeted this baseball game has so many lefties. I could just see him sitting there being just observing
up.
And you're like, dang, I could have done this.
No doubt. All right, so Brandon Jennings is becoming a cult hero. Who else? Who else do we want to have come back? For a while, it was
Junior Caminero to play defense.
It was he didn't. Yeah, there you go. He didn't have the impact, I would guess. But like Tom Crabtree for a while was kind of hanging around and crabby. But once you feel the warm embrace of the Wisconsin sports fan, it's hard to let that go, right? And this Brandon Jennings, come back on. You're welcome.
You know, CC sort of had that, but obviously his place in Brewers history is cemented, but it wasn't long. But CC's welcome back to Milwaukee was a really special night. Yeah. I remember that. Everyone kind of recognized that. I don't know if he's going to get an apartment here or anything like that, like BJ is, but that was cool.
The other one that I thought of when you mentioned Crabtree, we got to hear that pop when he got introduced this past year at Lambeau. And the cool thing for these guys, and like Brandon yesterday, his son wasn't cognitive, wasn't able to remember, and wasn't in the spot where these are going to be lasting memories when he was playing. But last night's a moment where you can be like, damn, my dad was pretty cool. Yeah. My dad was pretty cool. And you could tell Tom Crabtree when he got to bring his kid
showing
to the
him
game.
A lot of YouTubes, I'm sure. I mean, come on, the kids.
These are the highlights, right? Yeah. This is what Dad used to do. Just so you know, if we are out in the backyard, I'm gonna be doing some more of this. But for Crabtree, his kid was able to be there at the game. He got to bring his youngster to see the embrace. That's one of the coolest parts to be able to see that.
877-794-1973. If you could spend a day hanging out with a former Wisconsin athlete, who you're running with?
Ron Dane.
Let's go. 877-794-1973. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Everybody here is out of sight, but they don't.
Be honest, I would put myself in the same category as D. Wade. I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing that he have that I don't have is, more wins and 2 championships. That's it. I mean, but as far as playing on the same level, competing every night, both ends, shoot inside, outside, fast break, transition, Monte will have it all.
All right. We get in the Bucks Wayback Machine just a little bit, talking about Brandon Jennings, and Armen's in the rabbit hole. Find
Armen's
a
just hitting that
Ellis.
elbow, dude.
Listen, I have
Monte
no choice.
Ellis.
There's a requirement, and there's a requirement that anytime you mention his name, you have to play the Monte Have It All bite. It's out of my hands, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want the FCC to find me. The FCC now requires it. Okay, I just took the training, so Monte Have It All. I put myself in the case. Well, me and Dwayne Wade are the same player. The only difference is he has 3 championships.
It's one of the most factual things in the world. I mean it does have more wins and more titles. More wins and more titles. Now, have it all. We'll figure out exactly there. Also, Final Four appearance in college. You got those different things.
Guys are still coming after Wade. I don't know if you saw yesterday, him and Pat Bev had a little Chicago beef.
Really?
Pat's telling everybody how much better his 3-point percentage career was than Wade. Wade responded with just a gif of him looking at him. It was really funny. I just, these things never end, man. Time is a flat circle.
I like that Dwayne Wade is just getting into the weeds with people though too.
But
Pat Bev too. Yeah. Chicago.
What wasn't it Shaq who said I've won a championship at every level except for college and the pros?
Did he say that? That's an amazing.
Shaq said that.
That's amazing. That's an amazing line, because at first you're like, you know what? Wait a minute, that's not that good. That's like it puts you on your heels a little bit.
Oh, that throws me back to the.
I thought he had said that. Yeah.
Maybe might have. It would have been earlier in his career. Obviously.
That tosses me to the Reggie White part of the '96 documentary when the Packers are going to the Super Bowl. He had never won a championship at any level. And I always think about it. I'm like, wow, were they really going back to his youth football days to make sure and figure out like how they'd never won the Pop Warner Tennessee title?
That was like a resounding thing.
So Shaq said that. I think he was 24, and he said that got me a lot of criticism. People made fun of me for not winning a championship. I know people won't get this, but I was trying to tell them I was a winner in Olympics, high school, youth program, summer league. I win. I know what it takes to win. I've won before.
Listen, I've known how to win. I understand.
And now the new quote goes, I've won on every level except college. Because after he won the championship, but I've won on every level except for college and the pros.
Yeah, you had no chance. He was at LSU. There's no shot there.
So
that's awesome.
That was a classic. One of the classic quotes. 877-794-1973. Get you in. Brewers beat the Rays yesterday, claiming that series, sliding into an off day in their first road trip of the season coming up tomorrow with a 5-1 record. And they had some help yesterday from the Rays.
That helped. That does help.
The question becomes, was this Brewer ball? Are they making things happen the way they do by putting the ball in play and using their speed? I mean, stealing some bags.
Forcing the issue is a thing, right? Like, I mean, Drew, we talk about it a lot on Packers OT of you a lot of times will force an offense or a defense into mistakes because of the way you play, because of the pressure that you put on. And listening to Bryce Terang yesterday, and understandably so, he's not the most dynamic interview, but I do believe he's getting more comfortable and more confident talking about it. It's like, guys, when our offense is going to play that way and we're going to take advantage of every single thing you do, we're going to be really, really tough to beat. And that kind of confidence in the way they play, Drew, you knew that they had it. They also, I think, know that a lot of people are pretty confident that it can't just carry over. But if you grind through and you battle, as Sal Frelick said in the piece, you drag them through the at-bat as long as you possibly can, it does seem like it wears on teams that if you make one slight mistake, they're going to compound it and they're going to make you pay for it.
Yeah. Last year, the Brewers had, and I don't know if this is something that's repeatable because it's the first time I've seen this stat, but the Brewers forced more defensive miscues than any other team in baseball. They had more errors committed against them than any team in baseball. Now, is that repeatable? Is that luck? Is it a quirk? We'll see. But it is significant. To me, that means more than not losing 4 in a row, but that's just me.
Well, and it's hard to not think that the pressure you put on defense plays a part in that. I don't want to be I want to be consistent and say, like, you might sometimes catch some break, get a little luck break there. Maybe that's true too.
6 games in, they've stolen 15 bases, which I think is a franchise record for 6 games in. The 92 club, when Phil Garner came over from the National League and they were running wild, they stole 256 bases as a team. Still the franchise record. Could that be in jeopardy this year? That maybe. But 15 steals right now, to me, the offset, only 1 caught stealing, if I'm not mistaken. So 15 out of 16 is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and was the caught stealing where it kind of seemed like they got caught up in the middle of trying to figure out if he was going to go, or was that a Terang one maybe on a caught stealing, right? Like where it seemed like he was kind of like pump faked it. When they're confidently going, I don't know how anybody's throwing out David Hamilton. When I watched him, Drew, on the who hits the fly ball, was that Ortiz hits the fly ball that ends up getting caught right out onto the warning track yesterday? Yeah. Hamilton is halfway to third.
He had to go retouch, yeah.
And retouch his second, gets all the way back to first, and doesn't even draw a throw because there's no way that you're going to touch it.
I've been impressed by his speed. Like the Brewers have some really good speed, and they got some good base runners, and they're doing a good job on that front.
And the word conviction of William Contreras behind the plate, you run the bases with conviction, and you're going to be in a lot better position, right? Like they're decisive as to when they're going to go. They're confident in it. And I know Murph has shouted out the new first base coach as a part and a reason why they're so confident doing so. And maybe like last year, the numbers evened out that they stole more than it kind of felt like they did. 24 was when you really were able to noticeably see, okay, this is a Pat Murphy baseball team. They're going to steal a ton. Quentin Berry got a lot of the love and admiration for it. But changing up the base coaches this year, you would think maybe that would have some kind of impact on it. Hasn't at all. And they're just playing their brand of baseball. And listen, when Boss Dobler's favorite player, Garrett Mitchell, is going to come up with a big moment there with the bases juiced. 2 hits yesterday for number 5. Everything working for the crew.
And I haven't seen, I was waiting to see if Dobler would be in here commenting. I know he's listening, but I haven't seen him yet. The thing was, too, those were pretty good knocks. I mean, especially the second one down the line. You know, there were a couple of big hits yesterday, Yelch's in particular, that was sort of seeing eye because the infield was drawn in. But Mitchell's was a solid one. So it's nice to get production up and down the lineup without a doubt. And nice to see the late run surge. Once again, this is, I want to say, I don't know how many times it's happened in the Brewers 5 wins, but the come from behind, I mean, they've been down in a lot of these games, albeit early maybe, and they've been able to surge back. So
they still haven't gotten rid of that giving up the homers thing.
No, that's the thing.
But at least this one came in the 3rd inning, right? We got this one in the 3rd inning. We got out of the 1st inning. Sadly, we didn't go on the Nerfy bet because we were just like, all right, this is Brewers baseball. There's definitely going to be running the 1st inning. But that's fine.
When Bryce bails you out every day, basically. That's what he's been doing. So pretty impressive.
We've been talking about the Brewers and the Rays and their series finale. Let's hear from our pal Hunter Baumgardt, who's going to join us today at 7:25. Let's hear from Hunter. Let's go to Hunter Baumgart's recap of the action yesterday afternoon at American Family Field. Take it away, Hunter.
Guys, the Brewers are 5-1 after an 8-2 win over the Tampa Bay Rays on Wednesday afternoon. They used another 6-run 8th inning. They did that on Sunday against the White Sox. They do it again on Wednesday. We could get used to this, right? Bryce Terang says he really likes how the team has shown that they can win in multiple different ways so far this season.
It was a good homestand. We showed every style of game with the homers, the stolen bases, the walks, hit by pitches, all that stuff. So we got a really good team, and when we play like that, it's going to be really hard to beat us.
And on the pitching side, Jacob Mizorowski was the first Brewers starter of the season to go into the 6th inning. He pitched 6 full innings, allowed just 2 earned runs. And he said it takes a lot of pressure off the pitcher if he knows the offense is going to be as productive as it has been.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's, that's what keeps me going is realizing that, I can get away with letting up a home run because I know the opposite team is right there behind me and, it's fun to watch.
The Brewers are off today before going to Kansas City for a weekend series, then off to Boston to finish out the road trip early next week. They're back home next weekend. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Looking forward to joining you guys at 7:25 and talking more about the 5-1 Milwaukee Brewers. And by the way, Brewers haven't committed an error in their first 6 games of the season. That is a franchise record to start the season. More on that at 7:25. Back to you guys.
Little extra tidbit.
Oh, man. Damn, dropping 2 big league teases in there. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like 20 seconds left. I was like, what did he miss? Didn't edit this right? Because he's signing off. Oh, no, we had tidbits coming.
No,
I shouldn't have doubted him. I know.
You don't doubt HB4. Come on.
No, I shouldn't have doubted him. No, I hope it wasn't like the jinx.
Brewers are playing clean defense. They're getting some strikeouts. I didn't tell, I have a little Miz anecdote that I was going to drop on you guys. Should have going to talk about it yesterday. I didn't do it. It's like, it's not anything earth shattering.
Sure.
Right? It's just kind of like one of those things that happen. And I'm wrestling with, do I even do we let the players live in the wild? Because they live and breathe among us, right? Brandon Jennings knew.
What is this?
There's stories about Brandon Jennings stuff. I saw Miz in the wild last week.
Holy
did you live in your
cow,
hood?
now we're talking.
Yeah, I saw Miz in his
in his natural
habitat, just chilling.
That's okay. You can't.
So
Yeah.
I'm not, it was a public occurrence, but
Sure.
it wasn't like it just struck me as kind of funny.
He is because.
All right. Well, I'll tell the story when we come back.
All right, we'll do a
I
break.
will
I
I'll
like
do a
this.
tease.
I
Love
like
this
this
tease.
because we are talking too much about the youths nowadays. That they're not
That's right.
doing anything fun. That they're not out
Well,
doing
this
some
isn't-
things.
This
Might
isn't
not have
fun.
been out.
This is personal and it's funny. And
He might not have been at a tiki bar hanging out, but you know what? He is out in the wild, and you get to see a 6'7" cat walking out. You're gonna tell if that Jacob is.
See, I love this because I think we're gonna have more stories like this because you're in the right spot, Drew. You're in the right neighborhood where a lot of these guys are.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to.
All right, we will. I will
to
tell
hear
my
this.
Miz story. It's nothing embarrassing or anything like that, but it's just kind of. I thought it was
Don't burn a
cute.
young man. Yeah.
I haven't told you guys yet. Haven't shared it with anybody yet, except for my wife. I told my wife about it.
Oh, I'm excited for this. This is gonna be awesome.
No, it's you're gonna be disappointed, but it's just kind of funny. It's like they're normal dudes just like us. That's the tone of it. Is like see,
should we guess?
Got
what it
a
is?
real one.
They're all living. They're
Yeah.
all living the life.
You guys could try to guess, I guess, but
What,
you
you saw
never will.
You saw his head poking out the back section of the video store.
You never will. No.
Well, he said boys will be boys, or what?
No.
Those places don't exist anymore. Don't worry, Billy. There are no more video
He's not
stores.
peeling back the plastic on the magazines.
Yeah, come on.
No one buys
Armen.
magazines anymore anyway.
That's
Just trying to see if you could open up one page.
That's true.
What do you got, some Zins?
877-794-1973 gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Dolph is going to be back today.
Yeah, now skating at full strength is a good
The
thing for us to
halftime
be.
report will
That's
be
what I'm
back,
talking about.
And Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25 to talk about the Red Hot Brewers, who are 5-1 to start the 2026 championship season. All right, I'll tell the Miz story when we get back, and don't get your hopes up. It's just one of those little real life moments, and we all go through them, and it just shows you that they're just like us. These pro athletes.
Yeah, they just put their pants
Just
on every
like
day,
us.
just like us.
Exactly. And they might be wrinkle free. I'll just put it that way.
Hey!
You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, YouTube. You can see this stuff whenever you want. Podcasts available, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart app, everywhere you get your podcasts. We're easy to find. And
everywhere.
So in our small little burg here in Milwaukee in the state of Wisconsin, you can see athletes in the wild, as I did last week.
You had your ripping packs
thing. I'm not ripping packs. People are like, did you run into him at a baseball card shop? No.
Yeah.
While the camera was rolling.
I was walking the family pooch on Saturday, late morning.
Oh, it was a nice day to be out for a walk.
Yeah.
Well, it was sunny and the sun felt great, but it was windy,
a little chillier.
Chilly. I don't even think we were knocking on 50.
Classic
So
Milwaukee.
Classic
Sun's
Milwaukee.
out 70 degrees.
Fake spring.
Basically.
Felt
Fake
like 70,
spring
but it
by the
wasn't. A lot of
lake.
people were
Yeah.
in shorts near the lake thinking it was, maybe a bad choice.
Yep.
Right. So I'm walking the family pooch. We go to the dog park and we're working our way home. And I'm walking down the street and a door opens to a women's clothing boutique that is going out of business. Having a sidewalk, there's a sidewalk sign say, going out of business, everything must go. And I walk by and the door opens, so I have to kind of move out of the way to let people exit. And the group exiting was a group of 4, 3 females and 1 lanky, tall, skinny.
Now we're talking.
Professional athlete.
Now we're
All right,
talking.
wait a minute
right
now.
away, and it's Ms.
Let's ride.
Oh boy.
And I don't know. It looked like to me, just on a quick glance, I'm like, oh, that would be Ms. and maybe his mom,
Because
his girlfriend and a sister.
He
Maybe.
walked the red carpet with a nice young lady.
Three women, yeah. So I'm
his
thinking, or
girlfriend.
maybe it's his girlfriend's mom and her sister.
Sure,
So
sure.
Ms.
That
and
was
3
in
women.
town.
And it's a chilly
Not a
morning.
Tyrese- not a
but
Tyrese
it's
situation.
sunny but chilly. And Ms. is sporting jeans and a t-shirt with no jacket, which is a
Oh,
bold move
nice,
because that was not, it wasn't
Tougher day for
shirt
that,
sleeve
yeah.
weather.
He got tricked by the sun. Yeah,
Yeah,
while
I'm like,
looking outside.
So I see him,
My
I'm like,
daughter
oh,
happens to
Ms.
my daughter all the time.
underdressed, but hey, that's okay. The women are all carrying like bags from this boutique, and Ms. is carrying like a big appliance. At first glance, it looked like he was pulling like a luggage cart or something, but then I saw it as the door opened and he was carrying a clothes steamer.
Oh, all right.
It had a base and a long pole, and it was like, obviously it was a clothes steamer. And this place is going out of business. They're selling the fixtures, like they're selling everything
Genius.
like that. And he's carrying. So the ladies like bought
How much you want for
bought
that?
clothes, and Mrs. walking out. So we've all
What a
been
brilliant move.
We've all been that nice little Saturday. Might go to Home Depot if we have time.
Yeah,
You
of
know?
course.
I mean, we've all had those where you've been or
Home goods.
or you're walking by a store and your wife's like, "Hang on a second," and she sees like a pair of shoes or something. Like, oh boy, I might as well
This is
go
gonna
get
be
a
a
sandwich.
while. Yep.
I mean,
Usually
there are
that's me.
candy bar commercials, like, you need a Snickers or something.
Yeah,
I
no
need
kidding.
something to
You're
get me
definitely
through
not you when
this,
you're
right?
hungry.
So Ms. walks out of this place. He's carrying a clothes steamer, and it's like no bag or anything because he's just carrying it down the street. Like it'd be like
Give you
carrying
50
a
for that.
vacuum cleaner down the street or something.
That's
It's like he's carrying a
hilarious.
clothes steamer.
He saw value in something and he jumped
that's
on
the
it.
thing. And they're walking out,
The
and
dude
they're
move.
kind of chuckling. And as I'm walking around them with the pooch, I'm not going to bug him or fly him. I don't need a picture. I remember when he came on the scene last year and some kid posted a selfie of him at Target, like Miz is shopping at
Yep,
Target on an off day or something. And the Brewers were playing that night, but he wasn't pitching. And, so he's, doing the
live his
Saturdays,
life.
wandering
Yeah,
around,
for
doing the
sure.
Saturday family. A nice little Saturday. Like I said, maybe we might go to Home Depot. I don't know if we'll have time.
Hopefully, he went
Bed
to
Bath &
Sweet
Beyond.
Diner, grab himself some like pancakes
Might have.
in that
Yeah,
moment.
he might have. But then I did hear Ms. say that he's like, this is probably the only time I'll ever buy something from insert boutique name here. And they're all kind of laughing.
That's
and
amazing.
he's walking around. So I don't know. He could have bought a clothes rack, but he bought a clothes steamer. Shrewd purchase, I got to say, for a young fella.
He was. He's always looking for
You
value.
gotta love
You
that,
got to dress
I
up
love
and you're
it.
steaming. Armen had to love this. Like going out of business sale. It's like, well, there's obviously
value in it, baby.
there's
I
value in it.
thought you were going to give me like maybe he had groceries or he had to take
No.
dry cleaning.
I was
but
going to say, this felt
this
like he
is
was
great.
going and he got avocados at Trader Joe's. The
No.
way you were underselling it was, I was a little concerned.
But
My
This is
man's, in the,
phenomenal.
my man's in the boutique
And then
looking at all these clothes. He said,
they
what do you
walked-
guys want for the steamer?
They walked
What
down the
about that?
street and they walked and turned the corner, and I'm guessing either they were parked around the corner or he might live in the
Right in that area.
building down
That-
the way. I think
Yeah.
he probably resides in the area, but it was funny, and I'm like, oh my god, how about a little slice of life? They're just like us. He's walking around. you know how it is. You'd rather be on the couch playing video games,
For
or
sure.
just straight chilling.
But
My
mom's
mom's got to
here.
go out.
Mom's here for the
in town,
week.
or like,
She's in
his
town.
Girlfriend has an agenda, has stuff to
Probably
do.
move
They
him in.
need stuff to
Yeah.
do because otherwise, you're going to have to go to work soon. And,
Yeah.
they need stuff.
You're going to
do.
go to your baseball game. What are we supposed to do all day?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we go do something right now
Exactly.
before we go?
Also, like,
you don't
okay.
have to leave until 1.
So,
Mom moved
Miz
him in
in the
for the
wild.
season, like the dorm. Moved him in for the school year.
Oh, yeah,
And
exactly.
she's probably helped moving him in. She's like, why don't you have the iron? Why don't you have
Jacob.
this? Where do you do your laundry?
Jacob, look at this shirt.
What is this? It's wrinkled.
Yeah.
You can't wear wrinkled shirts.
Please figure this out.
When you talk to reporters. So he's like,
In-
I'm going to get a steamer. See, Mom? See, now he's just steaming everything.
In my youth, like I was the typical idiot, in my early 20s, and I would show up and Patricus would just wear me out. He's like, did you get that out of the hamper? Don't you own an iron? Because Patricus is very neat and
Really?
organized, and I was the
If he's wearing you
I
out,
was
that's
living
rough.
up to the Oscar Madison stereotype
Yes.
of the odd couple. There's an
That's
old
why
guy
you and
reference.
that's why you and I get along. Drew.
And I was
straight
like,
straight out of the dryer, right?
and I would just
Mhm.
absolutely didn't really care. I didn't have any drip or
That's
anything.
what the
I wasn't
air
getting any
fluff is
chicks.
for. I always thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he would always he'd be like, what'd you get that out of the hamper? Like I wear wrinkled stuff. Like I didn't care. Like I'm just going
It's
to
just
work.
funny to me that Patricus is roasting
Oh, yeah.
somebody on
I'm
that.
still in the
Patricus
point
was
where,
crushing me.
in all reality, I could do it if I had to, and YouTube University would also help me. I don't know that I've steamed or ironed one thing in my life.
If it was a big fancy occasion, I would take the shirt I was going to wear and hang it in the shower to steam
Yeah,
it.
that's that. I thought that was the
my
easiest way.
steamer.
I know. I've been with people that take the iron out and
But-
not just dudes, take the iron out of the hotel right away and set it up. I'm like, what are you doing?
For
I've
sure.
never done this. We'll hang it in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Even me, I'm just gonna hang this in the shower and hope for the best, and we're fine.
We'll figure it
Something
out.
like that.
Yeah.
I take it out of. Yeah.
I haven't had like a proper ironing board in many years.
Many years, no, and
That's what Jacob's thinking, the
That's where you
steamer.
do need one person at the wedding, one guy in the group
To know
that's
how to do
that's
it.
going to be standing up in the wedding. Somebody's got to be able to know how they're going to get this thing properly steamed and lined. But I also appreciate the fact that Ms. also went to State Fair last year, so
did.
he might just think this is how Wisconsin works, right? Like he might just walk down the line and say, "Hey, you do 40 for that one?"
Yeah, the Swiffer. What is
Because if you're walking down the expo center at State Fair, he probably watched somebody walk down with 3 vacuums.
That's right.
And a salsa maker, and then walk over here and say, damn, you know what I definitely need? 18 different bags of coffee.
Or new knives.
New knife set. Yes, thank you. That's going to get shipped for $384.
I mean, this steamer was like, the whole thing, from the ground up, it was probably like a 5-foot deal.
Not a problem for him.
Holding it, not a problem. And
Not
he's
for
carrying
him.
it on the street, and it's like, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, oh, he's us.
amazing.
He's one of us. Saturday morning, you don't really want to be out running errands,
No.
perhaps with,
And the best thing is,
and
if anybody was going to be able to walk by him as he was walking out of the women's boutique, the sports radio host, probably not the best guy, but the best sports radio host to see it was Drew
Exactly.
Olson.
It was Drew.
Like if anybody would have seen it, Drew Olson would have been
Of
the one to be able
course.
to find it. Yes.
I mean, they're human too. You might run into somebody like buying unmentionables or buying they got to buy toilet paper too. Right?
Everybody's got to
run
go.
their errands.
Everybody's go.
Unless they're rich
signaling
enough to
for
have
the curb.
Pookie or Ray Ray take, run the
or
errands
while
for
I
them.
Yeah,
get
and Miz hasn't
delivery.
gotten that money yet.
Get
Now,
everything drop shipped. Or,
he might be a little salty that they haven't sent him the Pratt contract that he could have had somebody go pick up that steamer.
Might be. All right. Shooting shirts are off. Let's get it on for the next hour. Scott Dolphin's going to rejoin the program. We'll hear about his trip and more. Getting ready for a Final Four weekend. Brewers are hot. They're off today. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Scott Dolphin. The Brewers scored 6 runs in the 8th inning, and they made it stick. They beat Tampa Bay 8-2 at American Family Field in that series finale. Bryce Terang went 1 for 2 with the homer. Christian Yelich with 2 big RBIs. Garrett Mitchell also drove in a pair. And on the mound, Jacob Mizorowski struck out 7. Aaron Ashby and DL Hall combined 3 scoreless innings. The crew went 5-1 on that season-opening homestand. The Brewers hit the road tomorrow to face the Kansas City Royals. The Bucks, a 119-113 loss in Houston last night. Usman Jang was impressive, career-high 36 points. Cormac Ryan added 25 off the bench. Pete Nance finished with 23 for Milwaukee. They return home tomorrow night to take on the Boston Celtics. Marquette guard Michael Phillips II announced that he's coming back to campus next year. He appeared in 28 games off the bench for MU last season. And Bill Self has announced that he will return as the Kansas head coach for the 26-27 season. The Huddle is next. I'm Scott Dolphin on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boys out there. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down now and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
Armen Sarian.
Zip, don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
On the air, taking no prisoners on a Thursday in the good land. Winter weather advisories around our area. Drive safe if you're listening to us on the move. If you're just waking up, good morning. Where you been? We fire up at 5 a.m. on the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app. Streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. We've got to find a way to stream on LinkedIn. People stream stuff on LinkedIn now.
What? Okay, so we're streaming on LinkedIn now?
No. We need to find a way to do it.
Well, no, I mean, but people are doing it now.
People are doing it, I think. Yeah, or they're posting
How?
just their, I don't know.
For
how
some reason, LinkedIn's become like more of a social media. I saw people post
It's like a real thing now, huh?
Yeah, it's like the new, what is it? It's like the new level of like Facebook. It's like, when Tinder didn't become popular, then it was Hinge. Then you had to be on Raya.
I'm unfamiliar with all these dating apps. I mean, which ones are you on?
I'm not familiar with them either.
Sorry,
We work
Ashley
with some
Madison,
young.
Ashley Madison. Hey, I had an Ashley Madison
Whatever.
account.
Okay, not whatever.
When Ashley Madison started, Billy, when Ashley Madison started, we were joking about it in the Milwaukee office. Might have been around April Fool's Day or something, but we're like, we should sign up for that. See if we could see who.
See if you can see who's on there. Yes.
Well, did you ever see
I was gonna. There's great investigative
we were trying
reporting out there.
Yeah, we were just like serving. It was like it ended up being nothing, but it was hilarious. So we signed up for it just to see if let's just see if there's anybody that we know or that anybody notable. Or
that would have been fun.
The documentary is pretty good, actually. There's a documentary on that. It's interesting how that worked. It was all.
Indeed.
Maybe that's what I'll watch tonight.
Yeah,
with no Brewers.
Right. Yeah, maybe you should watch that.
Yeah, no Brewers. We need something to watch. We talked a lot about the Brewers. First hour of the program, Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. Dolph will be here for our halftime report. He's back at 6:25. But I want to get some reactions. We didn't really talk about it. We tee it up. I did kind of bitch and moan because that's the national pastime.
That's what we're good at.
About the NFL owners meetings. And yeah, it was great. We got some stories and our guys, the intrepid reporters who went down to the Biltmore to cover that, got to an audience with, they got to talk to Goody. They got to talk to LaFleur.
First time that we've gotten to hear from Matt since this
That's
end of the year.
What I'm saying. Like they could have done that here and made news this week, or it didn't. And rather than make people fly there, and we still haven't heard from Jonathan again. It's a weird thing about the way the NFL media industrial complex works, and what they put up with is like, how
Drew.
How does this stand? Where are the pro football writers should be bitching about stuff like
Yeah, well, and I mean, you have the head coach sign a contract extension, which is mentioned from the president and the ownership as a real commitment. Would have been a nice time to be able to hear from the head coach.
Kind of a significant event, yeah.
Would have been a good one to introduce Jonathan Gannon, hear from the head coach there, or maybe when the head coach hires his fourth special teams coordinator in 8 years because one just decides to leave 3.5 weeks after the year, all of which would have been times where a press conference probably could have happened at Lambeau Field, but no, we had to wait
for sure.
down in
you
Arizona.
Do the things like now coaches don't go to the combine, so the owner's meeting is your access.
The only one.
The thing. All right. Well, that said, rant aside, like I just like that kind of sucks, and I get it. And it's not just the Packers; it's just in pro sports. People don't care about the media. The norms have eroded.
Totally,
we'll tell you on our time.
Everyone blames the media for everything, which is always silly. And then people blame when the media is on top of them. It's like, well, you can't talk to anybody because they're ducking them all the time.
The Bucs' biggest move of the offseason was acquiring Miles Turner, and they did his availability in Las Vegas for an audience of Eric Name.
Yeah, one guy that was there at Summer League. Yep.
Okay. What are we? And like, what do they owe the media? Well, how about that's the way you present stuff to your fans? It's not so much the media, us. Yeah, we like to cover that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, to your fans, you're making a big deal. You made an investment in the guy. You're bringing him in. He's a guy who's been a thorn in your side for a team that's become your nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good story. Like, bring him in. Like, show him around.
And once upon a time,
where your MVP almost fought somebody's dad,
or they had, yeah, exactly.
Once upon a time, people used to complain, "Why aren't you covering our team?"
No, it doesn't always work out because the Bucs tried to have a presser and a pep rally and a whole event with Dame's arrival, and he was delayed, and the flight was delayed, or it ended up a lot of people were mad at that. That kind of backfired a little.
That could have been a good signal that era wasn't going to work out as well as we thought it was.
Just didn't. So, all right, that aside, the mechanics of it aside, LaFleur spoke. And we had people there writing it, interpreting it. And one of the things that he said unprompted was that, the problems in the locker room, alluding a little bit to his diminished grade in the player survey that the Athletic put
Bringing
out.
that up unprompted, kind of. Yeah.
Brought it up unprompted that guys weren't happy with their roles. Like, we had guys in the locker room. And he did say, like, that's coaching, and we have to impress upon people that if you don't like your role, change it. Right? But it got me thinking. And I've said this for years because I try to tell people when I do get invited to a dinner party or a cocktail party, people want to know what it's like. I tell people I've been in locker rooms, clubhouses, I've been, coaches' offices, and they always ask me what it's like. I tell them it's the same as your office.
Yeah.
There's people you vibe with, you like. There's people that you say hi to. There's people when you see them come in the hallway, you turn the other way and try to avoid them. It's the same. And in some ways, it's even less than that. It's more than that and less than that. They spend so much time together, more than you would do maybe in the cubicle universe, right?
Especially in baseball.
People, especially in baseball, but in every sport now. And then because you're traveling together, that's your family. You're locked in, and it has its dynamics, and it ebbs and flows. And there are people who are having good seasons or are happy. There are people who are worried about their situation, who are pressing and uptight. There are people, deadlines. Think about your deadlines. Think about, we got to get this done by the end of the quarter. There's pressure that comes. There's pressure from the boss, pressure to perform, pressure to get that check. People wondering about leaving. People wondering about it's an office. It's not much different. Obviously, we pay more attention to it, and nobody interviews you after a day of work. But it is, the dynamics are there. So they're in every locker room. Now, the John Madden quote about winning being the best deodorant is absolutely true.
Very factual.
That very few people bitch about their roles when the team is rolling. On the Super Bowl team, there aren't that many squeaky wheels. When teams are underachieving, that's when, as Dobie likes to say, when the woodwork squeaks, out come the freaks.
Yep.
Right? When stuff's going wrong. So I heard LaFleur do that, and he said it unprompted, which means he wanted to deliver that message.
Wanted to say
Who's he delivering a message to? Us jabronis who do this for a living? The fans? No, that was for the players.
Yep.
Right? Because the players are going to look at it and go, Matt LaFleur, because they have their notifications on, and they're living and breathing and consuming stuff. And he said, hey, if you don't like your role, work harder, change it, grind. And we had guys so I started to think, my brain went to, all right, who's he talking about? And a lot of the guys who are no longer here, we know weren't happy with their roles. Quay Walker talked about it.
Mentioned it right out of the gate.
I have
rip.
I have my hierarchy of guys who are in this, that this message was intended for. And it starts with Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, and Dobbs was the centerpiece, and Nags and I got into this a little bit on Carry the G Radio, the podcast. And one of the clips started getting a lot of traction. People weren't necessarily happy with the way that we were kind of presenting it, because we just said exactly what you said first, right? Like, it's absolutely going to be by the boss's standards and the boss's job description to make sure all employees are working and doing everything they can to be achieving the ultimate goal of winning, right? But at some point, and I wonder how much NIL has changed this on the freedom of player movement, and as quickly as something doesn't go your way, you're able to go and make a move and go somewhere else. And a lot of times in college sports, get a pay raise when you go somewhere else if you don't necessarily like the situation you're in, where it's an immediate, well, they're not doing what they should be doing for me. And I absolutely don't. Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff's not absolved of blame in this for allowing the frustrations to get to a point where he felt like it needed to be answered in the first time that he speaks after the year, unprompted, wants to bring it up, and has been waiting to bring it up. But Dobbs was right there at the top, because I think the second guy, and the one that would be on the team that I'd be fascinated about, Drew, would be one Matthew Golden. Because
he's in that mix.
It feels like Dobbs would, and we've seen this obviously in 2025 or 24 when he leaves and misses the game and he's suspended for a game because he doesn't like the game plan as to how it rolls through. That stuff doesn't just go away. You don't just disappear from having a situation like that. And there were games where he had 2 targets and then all of a sudden quickly course corrects to 10 targets.
Well, yeah.
You can hear some squeaking and conversation going.
Wide receivers are by definition divas. That's the most diva-like position in the league. And you had Dobbs and Golden and maybe Dontavian Wicks in that room that weren't happy with their roles and their targets and with their.
Who knows if even Jaden might have said, "Hey, listen, I'm the one making all the big plays."
Once he got back,
but I'm making all the big plays here.
But okay, so Dobbs was on that list, came to mind, and Elton Jenkins near the top,
right there at the top,
because he didn't do the offseason stuff and he was looking for the contract and he playing out of position. Is he going to play center? Is he going to play guard? Where's he playing?
He's playing guard. He's playing guard with the Browns. And remember, Drew, it was his decision. He brought it up to go play center. Yeah.
Well, so he was on my list. Golden. Quay Walker felt like he was hamstrung or not somehow.
I threw out there Luke Musgrave as a possibility, especially after Kraft got hurt, where it was like they just said, "Hey, Luke, why don't you just go do what Tucker Kraft was doing?" He's like, "Well, listen, I appreciate the confidence, but I'm not a 255-pound wrecking ball where you throw the ball 1 yard out in the flat,
right?
And I make 2 guys miss.
I'm going to fall down.
Right? Like, throw me the ball down the seam, get me out in space, get me a corner route going out here 15 yards away, and let me make a catch that way." Where it felt like maybe they, even when getting the ball, weren't in the positions that they loved the most. Like, I thought the same with Josh Jacobs would be an interesting one, where he was so downhill a year ago, Drew, and it felt like everything was off to the right and outside into their zone runs this year.
I was just going to say, and Josh Jacobs, is it the best use of him running the zone scheme? Like, is it?
Or you got to pull a puller right in front of him and get a fullback in front of him and let him go downhill on people. Yeah.
Well, let's stay with the same position. I mean, a guy that's gone now, Emmanuel Wilson, might have said to himself, "I've been the best running back in this game so far today. Maybe I should be playing." I mean, there are days he was definitely the difference maker compared to Josh.
In my experience, guys like that, if the guy in front of you is performing, you just kind of take that. I think Emmanuel Wilson knows he's not.
He's not Josh Jacobs.
I understand that, but he had games. He had games where he was looking better than him.
All right. Well, another guy I had, and it's funny because when I was, earlier in my career, I would say if there were guys, there's a certain amount of recreational ragging. This comes with every office, and it's good. You get together and you blow off steam and you rip the boss and you do this. And you bitch about stuff.
You guys
in the
had
office.
the first segment already.
Recreational ragging is a thing, and it can be healthy, but it can be toxic. And if it gets to a point where people want to branch out or secede or do their own thing, it's like, oh, we're starting our own business called Malcolm's Tents for malcontents, right? We're all. I used to say, we're over here. We're working for Malcolm's Tents right now. We're bitching about the soup that we're in, right? So there's that camaraderie, and it's like that in every clubhouse, every office. It's the dynamics aren't that different.
It's part of the culture.
One of my guys on the list was Colby Wooden. I think he probably
thought
he was being used out of position and not used right?
And I thought maybe Enagbare would be one, because that seemed like a contract the Packers very much would have been in the wheelhouse to try to re-sign too.
So there's a handful of guys. Now, again, it's it gets exacerbated. It gets uglier. If you're going to lose 5 games in a row, the season's going to end the way it did.
I think it's louder for sure.
The deodorant wasn't there.
And the way they lost games too.
So we just named, there's like, a half dozen to 10, maybe even double figures, guys that might not have been happy with their roles that we can surmise now, right? And you're right. It's on the coaches for that. And I think one of the guys that I had on my list of a sleeper malcontent and not happy, Jordan Morgan.
Very, very fair.
He's playing better than Rashid. Probably shot. Well, they draft me a tackle. I'm a tackle. Like, what are they moving me around for?
And all I'm playing is everything but left tackle.
In terms of the coaching stuff, when you think of what LaFleur and Stenovich said at the podium, they went out of their way to praise Jordan Morgan and his development, and they were nudging him along. It was almost like, well, just hold your time. You're going to be the tackle.
You're going to get there. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. Yep.
But he felt like I should be at left tackle. I'm better than the guy in front of me. I should be playing there. And so, but they tried to massage it. But that doesn't always work.
Yep.
Right. So their public comments, and when you watch LaFleur at the podium, I know people get pissed. Oh, it starts with me, but their messages are a lot of times for the locker room.
Yes.
Right.
They're not as much for us.
I'm not in when the Brewers open. The clubhouse opens when Murph goes across the hall to do the media in the auditorium. The clubhouse is open. Sometimes, like when I was doing TV and stuff, like, all right, we got a camera in there. I don't need to be there. I'll go get players already and get rolling on that. And a lot of times there's nobody at their locker, but a lot of times like that press conference is on in the clubhouse.
And they hear it.
Guys can see it. And that's not
well said.
Accidental, right?
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
Those comments and LaFleur's postgame comments, I mean, he's in the heat of battle, but a lot of times it is the messages. He's talking to the players, not just the media and the fans, right?
Yeah,
he's talking to the players and a lot of times they're guarded, and more often than not, they stick up for their players in those settings. But when they want to deliver a message, and Murph's been good about that too.
Really good.
Got to be better.
Yep.
And what we always joked about with Counts, it's like, hey, you're going to move this guy to the rotation. You're going to send this guy to Nashville. Oh, we're going to have a conversation about that, which is code for yeah.
Yeah. I just haven't told him yet.
We just have to, you'll be getting that notice tomorrow or, yeah.
He's typing it up.
We're going to have a conversation about that. Meant that was like, yeah, he's headed for Nashville or he's out of the rotation or whatever it was.
I guess I totally understand that the coaches need and will be held accountable for everybody falling somewhat in line. But I also think that's an antiquated thought, right? Like that you're just supposed to be cool and happy with not playing. That's not why I'm here. I'm going to tell you why I should be in this position. But to Matt LaFleur's credit, and I totally agree with him in this standpoint, once then the coach delivers you the message as to why you are in a certain position, then it is on you to then go and do something about it that you care about, right?
That's
like
right.
If this matters as much as it should to you, and we understand that it does, this is a professional setting. This is all you've ever worked for to be here. We're showing you and telling you X, Y, and Z is why this guy's ahead of you. And I think there was like Matthew Golden is the one that I point to right out of the gates where we still got to see what we saw throughout the year. That doesn't mean the details that were being stressed to him throughout the week ever got better, right? Like it was pretty clear that they didn't feel like he was in a spot to run routes consistently where he needed to be all the time. Yes, it's on the coach to be able to splice you in and make sure that for the 5 or 10 routes that you will run correctly, that we can find you the rock into a couple of those spots. But this is going to be a collective unit, and we can't just let certain guys be freelancing left and right? So I think there's blame on both sides, no doubt about it. And when it falls that far to lose 5 in a row, and in the fashion in which you lost the number of those, it gets exacerbated. But like you are going to have to play, and there are going to be guys on this team. And this is where I do think the changing landscape of how college sports has evolved here, that you're going to see different ways of handling it by players, and it's not always going to be positive.
Guys come into the NFL that have been to 3, maybe 4 different college programs. Like they quickly realize there's no portal in the NFL.
There's no.
You're locked in. There's free agency, but not for a while.
Yeah, you got to earn to get to free agency,
and a lot of guys don't get there. So that's stark realization. But when you think about it, and you have 8 to 10 guys that we can think of that had a legitimate gripes with their roles and what they're using. There's 53 guys on the roster. That's like 20% of your roster.
And it sure seems like when you have talent to win, like the Packers seem like they do. And there are days that you feel like you should win a lot more games, but there's losses you shouldn't sustain, and there's moments of collapse. Then you start to ask yourself, is that the reason the cracks in the foundation were there? The termites in the walls? Is that the reason?
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. It was Brewers hitting coach. I want to say it might have been like a guy, Butch Weiniger from years ago, who was a really good dude that we went through a bunch of them. But I remember a hitting coach telling me, because we were talking about this, and he said it perfectly. He said, I was asking him about the actual impact, because a lot of people think, trust your hands, keep your hands back, and they just roll the balls out for pride. A lot of people think hitting coaches are worthless, right? But we know that they're psychologists, and they do work with mechanics, and a lot of the job is babysitting and team psychology and sports psychologists. But he told me, he goes, at any given moment in this clubhouse, we got a third of the guys that are playing better than they usually play. They love me.
Amen.
A third of the guys are doing what they've always done. They think I'm extraneous and replaceable, and they just don't care.
Doesn't matter.
And then the third of the guys are struggling, and they think I'm the biggest jackass idiot on the planet, and that they're blaming me for their struggles. So it's like it goes in thirds, and guys can shift from one third to the other third in the course of a week or a series, or at one anecdote, one interaction. But he's like, that's just the way. That's what you sign up for. Is like that, and that's like the best kind of way to look at the coach-player relationship. Like, I think there were times when Aaron Rodgers probably thought his coaches were overmatched and not as smart as he was, right? And there were times when he was not happy, maybe not with his role, but with the way things were going. And he was performing at a high level at the time. And that is an immutable fact of sports, is that it's just an office. It's just like, and some guys are, and sometimes the top sales guy is allowed to leave at 3:30 on Friday to go to his kid's baseball game, and you got to stay till 5. Different rules, different sliding scale. There's people get allowances. It's like that in every office.
I just also,
facts,
and I like this one. Matt LaFleur's a soft leader. His messaging lacks clarity and conviction. Now, the clarity to certain people, that's also rather dependent upon how you're viewing what you're being told.
Yeah, there's gray area.
There's a lot of gray area in there too. And I don't know. I didn't see Mike McDonald being the most boisterous, screaming and hollering cat that was all that different and convicted and yelling.
And
like,
the
it's
Brewers,
just a different
the Brewers
version.
have had great kumbaya chemistry and a vibe for the last couple of years, and I look at it like, okay, the Brewers brought in Rengifo, right? And he coming off a down year, so he doesn't have it, and he's coming to a new place, fresh start. But he doesn't start opening day. It's like he's probably thinking, oh, what do I have to do? And I'm sure they probably told him, like, this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Murph
they told Carroll when he was going to make
though.
his debut. Murph and Counts going back, they were guys that they're really good at. If you're Brandon Lockridge and you haven't played in 3 days, like, hey, get rest tonight, kid. You're starting tomorrow.
You're starting tomorrow.
And so then that's okay. All right, I'm getting a chance. And it's what you do between the lines to earn more opportunities. So
I think, we only know what we know, but I think most people would say, at least from the outside, like, it's like, well, Murph seems like more of a direct messenger. Like, he's more direct, blunt, clear with what his requirements are.
What it takes.
And that's why people
their role.
Right.
But guys also, they can figure that stuff out.
They should think it's a meritocracy, sure.
Yeah, they do their own. They have their own theories about it. It's fascinating. That was, to me, that's the story for the Packers of the whole thing. Is
well, it absolutely does.
And LaFleur saying, guys, and we had some guys that weren't happy with the roles. So,
and listen, and no one's going to be. Not everyone can be happy because there's only one ball to go around.
That's right.
Right, like you want people to believe that they need to have 10 targets a game, even though no one can necessarily in this offense.
We're going to share the ball. Our buddy Scott Dolphin makes his return. It's halftime, not of the week, but of today's show. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. We welcome back to the party our pal, our halftime correspondent, Scott Dolphin from the country station down the hall.
How you doing, guys?
Now we're talking. Now we're getting
back, my friend. You were missed. How were the trails of West Virginia?
Challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some hills out that way.
But
that's
the Appalachians?
you want that, right? When you're out there hiking, isn't that what you want? A little bit?
Yeah, it is, Armen. You're right. And this was a challenge. I didn't realize. The only other time I had been to West Virginia, I think I was 10 years old, and we were just sightseeing around the D.C. area. But this time we were in Charleston, which is the state capital, West Virginia, kind of not far from Ohio and Kentucky. Very, very awesome, beautiful scenery. But it is in the heart of Appalachia, man. Different country out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Different way of life, that's for sure.
I learned a lot about that state. Now, Morgantown, which is University of West Virginia, is almost in the Pittsburgh area. That's kind of up in the Pennsylvania area. And then again, this area is like the state capital, but it's close to Ohio, only an hour and a half from Ohio. So it's an interesting place to visit.
I can't say that I've had it on my bingo card to visit, but I do believe it seems like a spot, especially Morgantown, sounds like a spot that if you love college sports, you want to go and see one time.
Yeah. So that was a couple hours from where we were. We were closer to Marshall University, which we passed through that area. Yeah, we are Marshall. Randy Moss.
Did you, did you hear, like, as you're hiking around and you're just observing stuff and seeing the people who live around there, did you ever hear the dueling banjos in your head?
You know,
did you think about
that joke came up a couple times, Drew, on the trail. Boy, God bless these people, salt of the earth, man. And some of these, everything is, there's no level ground anywhere that we were in West Virginia. So a lot of these houses have to be built at the bottom of a cliff and next to a river, because that's the only room. And so everybody's right on top of each other, and they're really no more than shacks.
The terrain is interesting. Yeah, it must be very interesting, the terrain and things like that, no doubt.
It really is.
And the hills are one thing that people are NFL style kind of worried about with the traveling in and out for the NFL draft out in Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh's very similar. They've just as much up and down. They've closed so many ins and outs of the streets to be able to get into the area. They're like, yeah, but what you guys don't understand is people live up here on top of the hills. They do got to get down into the city to be able to go to work. They got to get down in there to be able to go, because otherwise it's not going to be able to go to work.
Yeah, very hilly, very hilly. And we were at this place, we had a great Airbnb. It was basically a cabin on top of a mountain. We had it all by ourselves. There wasn't a soul in sight for miles around. The biggest challenge was getting there Saturday and then immediately trying to get the TV ready for the NCAA tournament.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I like the detour about the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Look up that series, Bill. You want something to watch?
Whites of West Virginia.
The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
That sounds something on True TV.
It's a film about a family. That's all I'm saying. And they are West Virginia.
Oh, this is so up my alley.
What is this on TLC? What is this?
Yeah, it's a film. It might have been like a little mini series too.
Documentary directed. Oh wow, renowned West Virginia outlaws.
Oh, you need to
this
check.
is going to be awesome. I'm excited for this.
Okay,
well, they're outlaws and inbreds, and you got to go. You got to just see it.
It's Appalachia.
This is so
you
good.
Got to see it. Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Now, that's what I thought, Dolph, and I thought, okay, as we're heading into the Final Four this weekend, you weren't here to talk about it, about the way things unveiled. Can you find it in your heart to want Illinois and Michigan to do well, or for the Big Ten, as you are wont to do?
Absolutely.
Or are you now bitter that the Hawkeyes were not at the party?
No, I was disappointed for a minute after that Iowa-Illinois game, but I also was just, it was such a house money situation for a 12-loss team. Just proud of what they did. And yeah, I'm a conference guy. I've always been a conference guy. So I will fly the flag for the Big Ten. Sure hoping they're not a punchline anymore. Sure hoping they get a championship. Not going to be easy with that Arizona team. I think Illinois will handle UConn. I think that's happening.
That really? Could be. Yeah.
I do. So I think that's going to happen.
If I had to pay, U of I and Arizona are headed for a matchup on Monday.
Illinois is so damn smart, and they've got those superstar guards.
Yeah, they are really good and talented. There's no question. They can score, fill it up.
It's the Balkan All-Star team, Armen.
The Balkan All-Star team. They have it. They have Wagler as well. I think they're definitely good enough to win. I don't know if they'll handle him, but I mean, UConn's going to have they're saying it too. But
I don't know. Danny Hurley's doing way too many interviews for me to be betting on UConn this week. I'm seeing him on every single broadcast. He's on the McAfee show. He's on Pardon My Take right after.
He was doing stuff at
now he's going
Barstool.
to be now he's going to be with DP probably today. Like
damage control from the headbutt.
My God, the head hug. He called it a head hug.
That was one of my favorite non-controversies of 2026.
I get it, I guess. He's got guys that have been there, though. Yeah, it is controversy. But, I mean, we'll see. It'll be a good game, I think. I would probably pick Illinois, but I don't know if I'd be. It's going to be close, I think.
Oh, I agree with you.
So you're betting UConn?
I'm not betting. I really haven't decided who I'm betting yet, to be quite honest with you. If I'm making a wager, I really have not decided yet.
What's the line, Billy?
That's a great question.
We'll
That's
look
a
at
great question. And I should know because every single time you open the Potawatomi Sportsbook website and their bet builder, they're the first ones that come up, like NFL generally is once it is that season. 1.5 is the number for Illinois, and that's the same for Michigan.
Okay.
What made you think I'd be betting on UConn? Could you think it's like
because we all said that we thought they were going to handle it. And you're like, well, no, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think UConn's got it. I think they might got it.
Well, if you think Illinois is going to blow them out, then you should just hammer Illinois, right?
That's how that is how that
Right.
works. I was waiting for you to make one of the picks.
No, I didn't have a pick yet. Maybe I'll come up.
No,
with
you
one.
just ride the fence on both of them.
Exactly.
I think they might win, but they totally might lose.
I don't think they'll blow them out.
Close game.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a close game. I think the Illini win. The other game, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like Arizona. I like Arizona for a long time.
That's going to be a good one, but yeah, Arizona, you can stumble at any time, right? We've seen it, but Arizona looks like a wagon.
These are the two. This might be the national title game.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that this should be on
and
Monday. You know, Arizona. Now
on the women's side too, that's the same idea. You know?
Billy follows the lines and the ticket prices, and the ticket prices dropped when Duke was eliminated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, shockingly.
And
but
like Duke, you think it's a small school, they have their fan base, but they are like they're the Yankees in a way, right?
That's the thing. Everybody that then took their Duke shirts off, grabbed their Yankee cap and their Laker jersey to make sure that they're ready to go and celebrate for their next favorite team.
Yeah. Like the Yankees, now you're getting past a decade since their last championship. The Yankees 2009. Now Duke, it'll be at least 12 years.
Get in the door prices went up to almost $600 when it looked like Duke was going to be there, and then when Duke dropped out, they felt like by $100 almost instantly.
Well, especially if you're looking forward to a Duke-Michigan marquee matchup. I mean, Arizona's certainly good enough to win it all, but everybody wanted to see Duke and Michigan.
Average ticket price for the Final Four is $1,397.
Yeah,
the highest ticket
bad.
price is going right now at $7,869.
And that's a session ticket, right? So you get two games, but in Lucas Oil too, where
Well,
they
it-
didn't do the half court where they put up stands and make it a smaller kind of sight line. It's the whole Lucas
The whole
Oil.
stadium,
Yeah, the whole Lucas Oil.
And now for the championship game, you don't get the two games. So the get-in price is $192 with an average of $857.
Right. Yeah,
And the highest ticket, $17,580.
And the championship game is the most affordable championship game ticket in the world.
It is you're in
because
a dome, and the people who are eliminated are getting out of there.
And half of the people that already bought them want to get rid of them as quick as they can once they're already leaving on Sunday morning pissed.
If you want to say you've been there, that's the one to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to a Final Four, but I've been to basketball. I've been to the NCAA tournament in major stadiums. It sucks. It sucks if you don't bring your binoculars with you. You're watching. It's kind of like when you go to a concert. You're going to watch the jumbotron the whole time.
If you're in the
might as well stay home.
nosebleeds, if you're in the nosebleeds.
I think the fact that the proximity to Illinois is so high might be sort of affect the ticket market as well. If Illinois does win, that you might see the prices sustain or get higher for the championship. But
And Michigan.
Right up the road.
And Michigan's got as much money as any school in America. And then you're throwing Arizona in there that they haven't won. I mean, we talk about the Big Ten not winning it since 2000. Arizona hasn't won it in so many years. And that fan base pays a ton of money to be able to go and support that team.
Yeah. In fact, no team out west since what year? Since Arizona won it, right?
Yeah, 97, right?
97.
Yeah. And as this the year, the Big Ten finally ends the drought of being one of the best leagues without a title.
Yeah, I got the Cats, but I'm all in though on the Big Ten trying to win it. I want the Big Ten to own all sports right now because we got football, dominating football. Sorry, SEC, where are you at?
3 in a row. They almost have to win it because we heard how dominant the Big Ten was throughout this NCAA tournament. Oh, we had 6 in the Sweet 16 and half the Final Four. If they don't, people are going to say, all right, same old Big Ten, just like last year, the year before, and all the way back to 2000.
Interestingly, the get in the door price right now for the men's championship game, 192. For the women's championship game, 236.
That scarcity is a thing.
It's
one's in an arena.
Well,
One's in an arena.
and they have a colossal matchup coming too with UConn and South Carolina. So that should be
in the semi, though, right? Again, so then two of the biggest fan bases. One is going to walk out of there and say, "All right, I got 8,000 that you guys can start having because I'm not coming on."
You got 4 juggernauts, 1 seeds, and that's my problem with the women's tournament. There's really little chance of a huge upset, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're Iowa.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, although that wasn't huge, was it? I guess it was. They were a 2 seed.
What was it?
But there's such
in the women's game, though.
Yeah, 2-6.
There's such a disparity though between the top 4 teams. Then, I mean, nobody's beating UConn, are they? I don't think.
Will we start seeing that in men's more? We've been kind of seeing the chalkiness more in the last couple of years in the men's side too.
I think we might see more chalk, but I don't think you're going to see the ridiculous blowouts that you're seeing on the women's side. I mean, those games are over by halftime if you're talking about the 1 seeds for the most part.
Yeah, that's kind of the soup that they're in.
It is.
It's like
it has been for a while.
Yeah, that's a have and have not sport. There's going to be levels.
Okay, so my wife doesn't pay much attention to sports at all, which is probably the reason we're so happy. That's
I don't have to talk about it.
Right.
People are always asking, "What does Drew think about this?" She's like, "Listen to his show." I don't know.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I don't care. But we got into. She said, "Yeah, did you see that? I just saw on TikTok some guy has a perfect bracket going." I'm like, "Yeah, but it was the women's side." She goes, "That doesn't matter." I said, "It kind of does."
Yeah, it kind of does.
It kind of does because the women's game is more predictable. Like you said, it's a lot more chalky.
So.
It's not as volatile, and I didn't want to have to explain it to her because she probably thought I was coming at it from a sexist. I'm not at all, but it is the math, right? It's like the women's
way easier.
You didn't have odds.
I mean, you didn't have UConn losing to Siena with 3 minutes, 4 minutes left, or whatever that was, like Duke was on the men's side.
I did also I think my favorite was the interview that they did on because every single news outlet had to have the kid on, right? The kid from Indiana or something like that. He's like, I just picked them. I was like, I just picked random ones. I had no clue really what I was doing.
But but it is easier, and it's
for sure. There's a lot cleaner
more chalk.
But listen, there's no 53-point spreads being covered in the men's side of it.
No.
So that's Friday and Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Women's Friday and Sunday. So you got great college basketball, 4 straight
hoops
days.
all weekend.
Absolutely.
Brewers and the Royals.
That's right.
Brewers heading to Kaufman Stadium.
How's the weather in Kansas City? I was just mentioned to Drew. I said, "Oh my God, this could have been opening day." Can you imagine opening day and this disaster? It would have been like a couple years ago with the sideways rain and almost 32 degrees.
Would have been a nice throwback, though. Would everybody be able to get a taste of what it generally used to be at?
70 rain, Friday 73 in rain, Saturday
they're getting rain
sun.
today. They're on a flood watch today.
Sunday 60 sun. So regular stuff. I mean, look, the season started earlier than normal. At least it feels that way to me. Usually we're starting opening day in April, I always thought. But I mean, times have changed.
Always enjoyed that stadium.
It's
watching
lovely.
the trucks go by on what is that, 35 or 24, whatever
35,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, when you were a kid, having the waterworks,
I'd be in the press box
big
looking
deal.
out and at the Adams Mark Hotel that I stayed at across the parking lot. Then I got smart and stayed kind of downtown, but it was convenient back in the day.
It's fun. Yeah, if you go to a Chiefs game too, you get a party and tailgate right there next to the Royal Stadium.
Yeah, it's one of the complexes that I definitely want to go to. Now, are they moving both over to the Kansas side? Because the Chiefs were battling to try to get that new stadium.
Yeah, and the Royals wanted to build something downtown. They were more in the Westport or in the Country Club District or whatever.
Which would be nice. What do they have? The gas light. San Diego has gas lamp.
Yeah.
Gas light district downtown
district, yeah.
Kansas City. Really cool. Where
Power
they got
and
this
light.
heat shield. Power and light. There you go. Thank you.
Light, yeah,
there you go. That's a cool area. They got the big roof with heat.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
And it's going to be a little cool for the Brewers there. It's like 60s and that's cool for them in Kansas City at this time of year. So Saturday and Sunday could be a little cool.
Kaufman's the 5th oldest stadium in Major League Baseball.
It's beautiful though. Mm-hmm. It's always been really nice. One of my favorite spots. Best press dining room too.
Oh,
that's
Iron Team.
That's a media
game, baby.
There was this old lady serving up like this homemade
Barbecue?
Apple Brown Betty, and like you used to call her Aunt B.
Oh,
I don't know what her name was, but you could call her Aunt B.
I want to go, and I wasn't going to get credentialed, but now you just sold us. Now you sold me.
And if you go to Philly, Citizens Bank Park is nice, but then there's the guy doing the ice cream, and it's Frankie 2 Scoops or Frankie.
Well, and that's definitely one to get credentialed for, so you don't get something thrown at you.
Yeah, that's true.
Drew, you should write a book of all these characters.
Oh, there's just so many of these people. It's all out there. All right, Dolph, great to have you back.
Yeah, fellas, good to be back.
We're buckled up, and then next week is Masters Week. It's going to be
cue Jim Nance right
It's
now.
all happening. Hello, friends. Yes, indeed.
Get ready for Butler Cabin.
Scott Dolphin from the Country Station on the Hall. We are not far away. We'll see Hunter Baumgardt around 7:25-ish. He's going to join us, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and with some stories to tell us about the Red Hot Brewers, who beat the Rays yesterday, 5-1 to open the season, and they're setting some records along the way. No errors through 6 games.
Wild. Hunter's
strikeout, stolen bases.
Hunter's hitting big league teases on teasing us up for 7 o'clock. And I also got a local and World Cup edition of a superhero of the day coming up.
Oh, baby, that's a good tease. Don't go anywhere. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Bringing it to you from headquarters. Time for a hero. Based on that song that Armen brought us.
Come on,
Time for a hero brought to us by Current Electric. Our superhero of the day, Billy. Who is it?
Now, this one comes with a little bit more of a backstory, and it's a fun one. Izmir Baraktarevic is our superhero of the day. You're going to say, why are we talking about a winger for the Bosnian national team?
Okay.
Well, he continued what a lot of people and the trend was going around was the Italian curse. They've won one World Cup qualifier game since they won the World Cup in 2006, I believe, or 2008.
Yeah,
one of those two.
They're out again.
And they are out thanks to Izmir Baraktarevic, Appleton-born player for the Bosnian national team.
There's always a local connection, isn't there?
Now,
always.
I got a little bit of backstory on the kid that they called Superstar while he was growing up playing for the SC Wave. One of my wife's cousins played travel soccer growing up and played a lot of AAU with Izmir. And his parents fled and it's a great story. So his dad played, and got a lot of this from families that were a part of the growing up team, that his dad played for the national team in Bosnia. They had to immigrate to the U.S. because of the war, and that's why Izmir was born in America and born in Appleton. They didn't have a ton of means, so his dad worked third shift in a factory job, couldn't attend a ton of his games. So one of the dads in Appleton on the team took him to practices, games, took him all over to travel contests across the country that they went to with the SC Wave. He finally got recruited by MLS team, the New England Revolution. He was a 19-year-old sensation with the Revolution playing in the MLS, worked his way all the way up to the top level team, and now has been selected to go play for PSV. He's playing for the international team in Bosnia after he decided to flip the script. He could have been on the U.S. team. Now, the way they're playing for the Bosnia team, I think we got to figure out how we recruit him to play for the U.S. team.
That's a good point.
Then we got somebody that's balling out like this and hitting a penalty shot to knock Italy out of the World Cup.
Because we haven't beaten European teams in a while.
And we're hosting the World Cup. We got to be figuring this out. So USA Soccer, let's figure this out. All right, let's make sure that Izmir is playing for America and not for Bosnia. But he just was the reason, made the game-winning goal in the penalty shootout in the Euro qualifiers to knock out Italy and put Bosnia into the World Cup for the first time since 2014, Appleton's own.
That's pretty awesome. I know they take a lot of pride there that they're in the World Cup. Big deal there. Big deal for Italy. I mean, this is the biggest catastrophe since Julius Caesar with the Senators. I mean, really, I mean, it's been 3 World Cups now they're not going to be in. Italy's had a lot of history in soccer, so that's a big deal for them. But great story, Billy. Great tidbit, and great that we have a local connection.
Right.
And listen, you never know how it's going to pay off when you're helping your neighbor, and there they were, taking them to practice, taking them to games, helping them out, be part of it. So that's a pretty awesome story.
Quite heroic. Current Electric, the heroes. I see the vans everywhere. They're all over the city.
They're everywhere. And if you are a little bit worried with the weather that we're getting here today and you don't want any power going out because of the up and down on the temperature, listen, springtime means a crack of the bat. You got to go clean off the grill. It also means that these storms are around the corner. And if the power in your home goes out for any length of time, it can be a real problem for you. Not only just the food and the medicine that might be in your refrigerator, that sump pump running in your basement might be the most important part of it. The out-of-pocket costs can start stacking up. We all learned that last year. Current Electric is offering right now a free home generator assessment to give you some peace of mind. It's a free assessment, and they'll let you know which Current Electric generator will be able to be the best for your home when you go to callcurrent.com and you go get your free assessment. That's callcurrent.com.
Outstanding. Call them. Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be standing out there and realizing, okay, we have no power. I have no way of making sure that these eggs are all good because I can't cook them now, and I got 10 of them sitting here. And with the cost of eggs these days, Armen, you can't be losing those.
Yeah, though I think we are normalizing a bit on that. They've gone down a bit, but you're right in general about it. You want to make sure that's taken care of.
You can tell if the eggs are good. There's the water test. Put them in. Sink or float. It's a way to see if eggs are fresh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
What? You didn't know
How about that little helpful tidbit from Drew here to end
Talk
the
about
6
a
o'clock
Current
hour.
Electric superhero of the day. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Fresh eggs sink and lay flat. Older eggs stand on end or float. If they're floating, throw them away.
I just always realized it when I cracked that son of a gun into the pan and it wasn't. I'm not eating that one.
No. Hunter joins us at 7:25. Talking Brewers. It's the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Scott Dolphin. The Brewers fell behind 2-0 and then ran off 8 straight runs yesterday as they beat the Tampa Bay Rays 8-2 in the rubber match at American Family Field. Bryce Terang with a 2-run homer. Christian Yelich and Garrett Mitchell also drove in a pair of runs, while Jacob Misiorowski was the Miz. He struck out 7. Aaron Ashby and DL Hall combined for 3 scoreless innings, and the Brewers go 5-1 on the season-opening homestand. It's a day off today before they hit the road and head Kansas City to play the Royals in the first of 3 tomorrow night. Bucks basketball, a 119-113 loser to Houston. Usman Jang was impressive with 36 points. Cormac Ryan added 25 and Pete Nance 23 for Milwaukee. They will return home tomorrow night to take on the Boston Celtics. Marquette guard Michael Phillips II has announced he's coming back to school. He appeared in 28 games off the bench for Marquette last year. In other news, assistant coach Nevada Smith will reportedly become the head coach at Siena University. He spent the last 5 years with Shaka Smart. The Huddle is next. I'm Scott Dolphin from Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we come on down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down, guys, after and make the play. B right, all the way outside. Y left, fake 396 bag. D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Thursday in the good land. Thanks for hanging out with us, you early birds. 7:02 in the morning.
Yeah, now you're just a grinder. Now you get up at this point. Now you're just working. You're ready to
You're just
go
a regular
and start
person.
taking it at
Yes.
taking the world by storm.
Wherever you are on your morning's journey, thank you for hanging out with us. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters. This portion of the program brought to us by Game Day Men's Health. I'll be going to see my friends at the Brookfield location right after our show today. I see listeners at the facility because they hear about it. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for free, no obligation, a consult, if you will, a little blood test.
Mm-hmm.
That little thing on your finger. And then 45 minutes, they can tell you if they can help you with their services. And they have a lot of them. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Going to talk to Hunter Baumgardt in a little bit about the Brewers. And that's a good dovetail into who's hot and who's not. Because I think the who's hot, and I've been singing their praises, so they're not going under the radar, but the Brewers bullpen right now.
Oh, big time. It's incredible what they've been doing.
Is flaming hot like a Cheeto.
Yeah, the numbers are pretty nasty. 25 innings pitched, well, 25.2, I should say, two-thirds. 3 earned runs, 1.05 ERA. That's it. I mean, I don't know if you want to hear that again. That's some wild stuff.
Pretty good.
Through 6 games, I don't know if we can sustain that type of level of
we had
ability, but that's
Woodford
impressive.
and McGill gave up homers. Those are 2 of the runs. I don't remember the other one, but that's pretty good after 6 games.
Just about it.
Oh, yeah,
There was a garbage run on opening day, I think, wasn't there? Maybe?
Yeah, garbage home run on opening day. That was the Woodford one.
That was the Woodford
and then
one.
McGill gave up a home run in the loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's like
somewhere there was one.
It's been
but
really good.
That is pretty amazing.
And to also be able to double it up with the youth that they've had in the rotation, like you knew that the Sproat blow up is going to ruin whatever ERA your starters are going to have. But Misiorowski goes out yesterday, the 2-run shot. That's it. All he's given up is 2 long balls. And Chad Patrick was phenomenal. Only 1 earned run there. And Harrison too. Lost also forgotten kind of in that loss was how he settled in, ended up striking out 8 across the 5. The staff in general has been phenomenal, but the bullpen is the one that I think because it seems like there's such variance around the game.
Yes.
Every single year with your bullpen, it's almost like an offensive line
So true.
where it's going to be the most forgotten about until they're bad. Then they're the worst unit on every team, right? Like they're the one that will ultimately probably get cussed out the most by fans, but fans wouldn't be able to pick them out of a lineup if you were walking down the street.
That's a great point. And obviously, we have 156 more of these things to go. There's a long way to go, but you do get sometimes a little bit nervous because of that reality when you walk into a year knowing you're depending on your bullpen to be great again, because you know they should be, but performance isn't linear. We've talked about that many times, especially with bullpen arms. It seems like you can't always count on them being what you thought they were one way or the other. So it is nice to see them fulfill that early on, especially with some of their biggest bullpen arms not there anymore. The Meerkat is not around anymore. So, that's the way it is. But those other guys have been filling in nicely and performing their role, and it feels like everyone's settling into the role, which is so important in the bullpen.
All right, so it's who's hot, who's not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. I'm going with the Brewers bullpen being hot, and Billy, who's not? I'm going with the Washington Wizards.
That would be a good one. That would be a fair one to throw in here. That's cruel and unusual punishment what they did to that young man last night.
The Wizards, they lost 153 to 131. They give up 153 points.
Yeah, and they made some guy think that he won $10,000 on an April Fool's prank yesterday by blindfolding him for a half-court shot.
You think there's room for a lawsuit there for some sort of you got to give me a free jersey or something if you're doing that?
Well, they did say they're giving him an autographed jersey and courtside seats.
They did. I missed that. All right, then I'm happy
100%.
about it, because then you got more than you thought you would, so you can't really complain. I mean, they pulled that prank on me at Christmas once with a pull tab. They got a fake pull tab, and they made me think I won 15G, and I was jumping around the room going crazy.
Who did, your parents?
No, it was not my parents, but it was family members. It was my mom's cousins at the big family gathering.
Wow, you got lottery ticketed?
I got. So my thing is all right, that's fine. You guys had your fun and games, but you better get me a nice gift. I better get a nice open the rope here or some nice gift here. Something nice V-neck sweater or something.
You get nothing. You lose.
It's just
you didn't make the shot.
I hate April Fools, and I'm just so glad it's over. And I saw that, Billy, and I was like, man, that's nasty work by those guys. Nasty work. Although
I thought it was hilarious.
I'll admit that.
Now, I also wouldn't be surprised if that was ultimately a staffer or somebody else that may have been.
Oh, you don't say?
Planted into that situation. Oh,
you don't say that happens sometimes? Is that how that works?
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Who also would be in the hot category, guys? Bryce Turang. Son of a gun is just a mainstay into the hot category. I don't know that you could get much hotter, than what Bryce Turang has come in and started the 2026 season with. Doing exactly, Drew, what we were hoping he was going to do off that WBC energy. Bring that right on into the big leagues. Bring that right on over here. Also, who's hot is my man Aaron in Carolina with my joke about the Duke fans pulling, coming out in the Homer Simpson meme and all of a sudden busting out their Yankees hats and Laker jerseys. Great situation for all those fake Duke fans that are ultimately around there. What's not fake is the kind of work that they're doing at Donovan Jorgensen. Largest employee-owned HVAC company in the state of Wisconsin. That's what sets them apart. They want to earn your business. Also, they're going to earn your business with a 60-month, 0% interest deal going on right now. Qualifying Aries Pro Systems with 3 locations, West Dallas, New Berlin, and McGuanago. Go check them out, DonovanJorgensen.com for more information. That's the spot.
Can I give you a little honorable mention for who's not? By the way, I saw this stat from the Marlins White Sox series. Just 19,687 fans combined attended the 3 games between the Marlins and the White Sox in Miami. Game 1 at 6,500, Game 2 at 66, and Game 3 at 65. Marks a historic new low in Miami Marlins history. Ouch. That's bad. Wow. Yeah.
Well, even better, it's doubled up with Armen. Am I queued up in there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you caught this one from the Marlins radio network, but John Boy Media was able to celebrate that with Sandy Alcantara, who was celebrating yesterday in that series. Dominated, complete game, was phenomenal. This is how he sounded.
Sandy,
after.
your 13th career complete game. What makes this one a little different?
A lot of different, so it's been a long time without throwing a complete game, but this one is special for me. All my family here. Fans is not here, but we still love them, because we know this is a hard sport, and they know what sometimes they gotta do something. They were at the house, but yeah, today was great for me.
They were at the house. They may not have been here, but we knew that they loved them. They were all watching on television. I could see, I could feel them. I knew they were watching.
That's amazing work there. I'm glad you brought that. I didn't hear that. The fans were not here, but
The fans are not here, but we still love them. My family was. At least somebody was able to witness it.
Oh, man. No,
6,600 people at a Major League Baseball game. They probably had 6,600 people working for that WBC game there a couple weeks ago.
And 3 in a row. I mean, that's the thing. It wasn't just one bad one. I mean, this is just, we joked about, you haven't heard contracting in a while. We joked about that a couple weeks ago. Maybe they got a problem down there in Florida with the baseball teams.
Relegation.
Relegate the teams. Yeah, but the team's not that.
Okay.
I don't think
like
the Marlins.
Subtracting the team maybe is
Contract. Like instead of expand.
Well, who's hot, who's not. Shout out Donovan Jorgensen.
Donovan Jorgensen, best. Indeed. And they're not contracting. They're only expanding.
Oh, yeah.
Only. Absolutely. That Cubs game yesterday was 39 degrees and it looked miserable.
Yeah, when you see the full ski masks, or as the high school kids are calling them, the shiesties that they got to wear underneath their helmets all the time, you're rocking that with the baseball hat. That's a game that might need to get moved.
They got it in. The White Sox have already canceled their game for today. Their home opener.
They said, get us out of here. Yeah. Well, and the fans were already talking about that, Drew, on Sunday when we were down there in the belly of a beast with a bunch of White Sox fans. This past Sunday at American Family Field, they're like, well, we had to come here because we're not going to be able to go to any of the games next week because they were already eyeing up and circling Thursday as you might as well work because we're not getting that day off like we thought. Yeah.
When you might have to cancel for a month, this doesn't seem very functional. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where I understand stadiums are what they are already, so you're not going to build we're already starting early enough. I mean, we start a week earlier this year. It just seems like, I guess this is part of life. This is part of baseball. We do this every spring. But, man, it is just like, and we're going to start earlier now? I don't know. It just seems wild to me. But what can you do, I guess? Dave in Monona is on the YouTube stream.
What's up,
Let
Dave?
the fun begin. Dave in Monona has arrived. I wanted to give him a shout out.
All right.
He was trying to find the YouTube stream. He was on the text line. So, Dave, you're in the YouTube stream. Congratulations.
All right. He made it.
That's what I'm talking about. I love when we're able to grab more people into the stream.
The video stream is growing every day.
We're still hard to find.
Yeah,
it is.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. I had
your friends to find us.
Friend Jake at the ballpark yesterday. He stopped me in the pretzel line. Said I was fired up to find. When you guys all of a sudden came back on AM, he's like, guys, I work at 6 a.m. So I get to go to work now with a show. Then have you in the earbuds for the first 2 hours, which are potentially the worst 2 hours of work. So I was very excited to talk to Jake yesterday. He was even more pumped that we were on AM now.
My pal Brad, too. He's like, I miss you in the afternoons. Well, I'm doing mornings now. Well, instead of driving home with you, I'll drive to work with you. I'm like, okay, that's perfect. That works for me.
It fires you up even better. And either way, we can still celebrate Junior Caminero, as our friend Joe in Pewaukee said. Wait, who's not? It's Junior Caminero with 3 errors. What also might be hot is the request line for a review on any of those. Yeah. He's going to lose all of those appeals because all of those were bad. I can't imagine him
appealing those. I mean, my goodness, he should be buying his pitchers steak dinners for not for making their life more miserable.
Saying, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. Crazy. I apologize, but that's what happens when you throw me the first base glove right after having the third one. I wasn't used to it.
How about the Brewers with the Yelich bunt, which, by the way, how perfect was that?
Oh, my gosh.
Tremendous. It couldn't have sat on that line.
Bunts his way on and then squeezes one through the infield for the dagger, right? For the
just gorgeous
death blow.
Yeah.
That was pretty good stuff yesterday. Brewers are rolling. Looking forward to talking to Hunter Baumgardt very soon. It was April Fool's yesterday, and they had the pro day at Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over Billy's shoulder, and I could see the worldwide leader in sports, the 4-letter network.
Oh, God, just glazing.
And they said 32 teams here to see Francisco Mendoza pro day. And I'm like, there ain't 32 teams there for him.
No.
There's one team there for him.
Yeah, correct.
But they have other players.
Yes.
And
a lot of other good players. They
won a national championship. So the 32 teams there are not there to watch a quarterback that they won't be able to draft.
No, and also
they're there for the other guys.
And I do appreciate it. Fernando's phenomenal, right? Like he had a phenomenal year. I think he's going to be a very good pro. But the over the top, just lambasting of anything that's not Mendoza's the greatest prospect that we've seen in a long time. He's not the best quarterback prospect we've seen in a long time.
No, I would agree.
I mean,
this year's.
If you looked at the May Williams Daniels class, I don't know that he goes in the top 3, right? Like he's probably the 4th guy taken out of that group. And that's not a bad place to be. Because guess where the 5th guy went? To the AFC title game this year in Bo Nix, right? Like it doesn't necessarily equate to you being a dominant NFL player, but Drew, it's so true. Omar Cooper Jr. is phenomenal. The running backs that they have, tremendous. The defense that helped lead them to the national title when That offense had 6 points in the Big Ten championship game through 3 quarters. They got a lot of guys that are going to play on Sundays, and not just one dude who is very good and was very, very had a lot of intestinal fortitude, played ballsy in the big moments, no doubt about it. He's going to go number 1, even though Dan Orlovsky might not think he should. He's going to go number 1. You're right. The Raiders were there. But I don't think the Cowboys were there to watch Fernando throw the football. They were looking to see how much we were able to get of Surratt catching the football from Mendoza. Or how about Riley Nowakowski showing up a little bit yesterday into that pro day? I like seeing that one.
Hey, at least Orlovsky, a little credit. He says Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in this draft. He's been consistent on that. So,
and he has been getting
roasted. And that's the problem, Billy. It's the groupthink. Like, if one person dares to say something different, he's getting dragged for it. That's why people are. I think that's part of the issue.
Also, when you go on Pat's show and say anything that's not Fernando Mendoza is the greatest player that's ever played professional football,
they're gonna get on you. Yeah.
But did you even watch?
Right.
Did you even watch? Yes, we all watched. We all watched him make good throws. Like, no one's saying that he's not a good player, but I think that there's levels to it, and like you've seen a number of different guys raise their level of play in the big moments. That's absolutely a trait. The Raiders are going to be pumped to get Mendoza, but all of it thrown up on just being verbally thrown at you throughout for the 4-letter network. Tough. Also, you had no reprieve from it yesterday, because yesterday was the first day of the 4-letter network taking over the 3-letter network that I love so much.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the first day of ESPN owning the NFL network. And I'll tell you, I did not watch. I took
protest.
I just took a day.
Way to go, Billy. Way to hold the line.
They felt that.
Wow.
I knew that they felt my silent protest. It's not like I'm very much against it and like there's some big moral issue to it, but the network's already changed so much, and I don't want to see my man Tom Pelissero working, with all due respect, with Adam Schefter. I want to see my NFL network guys working with the NFL network. And I already have to deal with it with Peter Schrager now on ESPN and confuse me. Just keep my guys on the same spot.
Yeah.
Just run old NFL Films yearbooks, team yearbooks. That's all we need from that.
Well, that's fair. That would work.
But Billy, I mean, this show, you would leave the show and watch Good Morning Football.
It's true.
I used to. Yeah. I used to be watching that one every single day.
Those were the days, right, Billy?
Now, before, like, I love professional wrestling. Why the hell is Seth Rollins co-hosting Good Morning Football? Seth, you got WrestleMania in 3 weeks. All right. You get your ass off of that show. You get yourself into the gym and get yourself into a coffee pot. We need to get more Manti Te'o takes out of here. That's a show that definitely went down a different level when Nate Burleson and the guts of it ended up getting ripped out.
Put a quarter at Billy on that one.
That is a sensitive subject for one that I've enjoyed so long.
Last thing on the NFL, because we're going to shift gears to baseball when Hunter arrives, but could the Packers peel off one of the receivers, or the Rams going to be in the market now that Puka Nakua's in rehab and his status is a little uncertain? Do they need some depth there?
Ooh, going for the Brett Favre career arc? Well, it might make sense then why they didn't trade Devontae Adams. They meant Sean McVay said it at his breakfast table. He's like, yeah, we negotiated with teams to trade Devontae. We're not trading him because we love him so much. Well, but I did tell him that we did.
Might they need another?
They had to realize. That's a little fascinating situation for
day 3 pick for Dontavian Wicks or something, or like, who would you peel off?
Yeah, I think that would be the easiest one to replace. But the Rams have drafted too well in the 3rd round. Now they are into day 3. Puka was in line for the top JSN. And even Les Snead said, before you make that kind of financial commitment, we got to make sure the personal side's all figured out.
Oh, that's big.
You want to talk about the amount of money that potentially was lost there for one Puka Nacua.
He's in a lawsuit.
It is a wild situation.
He wanted to get his name in the rehab headlines today because Tiger had stolen all of them. So he wanted to get in there. So, I think that's part. Well, I mean, and Tiger's going out of the country for rehab now, I saw.
Yeah, so he got permission to leave the country.
He got permission to leave, which I think is interesting.
The thing with Puka is this episode and the timing of it is right when he wants the extension.
Right when he wants the extension.
Like, okay. Well, I was wondering.
Like a different stratosphere of extension too, Drew. Like 40 plus million.
Yeah, the Jackson Smith and Jigba deal. But he's looking for that. And like, when I saw, all right, he's going to rehab. Oh, is this eyewash? Is it just to help him with the suit? Is it to help, sway the public opinion? Is it legit? No.
There's very
always skeptical.
Yeah, all of those are on the table. And as somebody that has been tied to Puka Nacua in a very, very important dynasty fantasy football league since he came into the league from BYU, we want that Oos to figure it out. We want Puka to figure it out because he's good for ball. When he's talking and having fun, he is a good person to have in the NFL.
No doubt.
We want to make sure that we clean this stuff up because we can't be biting people.
Absolutely fun. All right.
Can't be watching these Twilight movies taking it to real life, Puka.
Our pal Hunter Baumgardt.
Team Jacob and Team Edward is not in real life.
Exactly. It's true. Our pal Hunter Baumgardt is going to join us next. He's been at the ballpark. He has a baseball show tonight. Milwaukee's Baseball Tonight will air at 6 o'clock.
And I love that we get baseball tonight. Like we're meant to.
No doubt. Hunter Baumgardt joins us next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Powering through a Thursday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmidt, Armen Siren. Happy to welcome to our party our Brewers correspondent, our pal, star of the Brewers or the baseball pregame show and Thursday night baseball tonight, Milwaukee baseball tonight. Hunter Baumgardt joins us. Hunter, thank you for waking up early. How you doing? Oh, Hunter's muted. Come on, Hunter. Hit the button.
At one of these weeks, I'm not going to mute my own mic and then not unmute it when we get on. But anyway, that'll come hopefully next week. I'm great. How are you guys?
Great.
I'm better now.
We're great. Everything's good. The Brewers are 5-1. It couldn't be it could be better, but not much better.
Not much. Things fell their way on the homestand, and especially yesterday. But Hunter, the theme that I keep harping on, I keep pounding on, is how good the Brewers bullpen has been. That to me is the backbone of this operation right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I asked Christian Yelich that in the clubhouse yesterday. Like, you guys have had good bullpens over the years, right? They've had a lot of good pitchers come through that bullpen. But what does it mean to you guys as an offense to know they're going to keep you in the game? As much as the offense has been really good and they are tied for the league lead, major league lead in runs and everything like that, that bullpen has kept them in games and allowed them to either come back or, if the game is tied, take the lead late. And Yelich is like, yeah, that's kind of our formula, right? It's somehow get it to the back end guys at the end to go and win us the game. And sometimes that's been the formula. Sometimes it's been even, hey, we have a 6-run lead. Let's give it to DL Hall to finish things off yesterday. So they have had that formula for years, and it's working again. That's what the Brewers are doing. They seem to be using kind of every formula they've used in the past and putting it all together in these first 6 games. Now, what will happen over the next 156 remains to be seen. That's a really good sign for a team that knows exactly how they need to win, has proved that it's worked over the last 2 years, and now they're just going out with the confidence of every year that has happened in the past behind them, it seems, and going out and winning.
Well, and I think the overarching theme from this show has also been Brewers going to be hard to not be better than they were last year in terms of like the individual talents, but going to be hard to beat 97 wins, right? Like, but Hunter, what you just mentioned is they've taken the identity from 2025 and like Patrick Starr said, why don't we just move it over here? They've been able to move it to 2026. That's not an easy thing to do, to just be able to pick up where you left off. I know they got a lot of the same pieces. They infuse a little bit of other spices into the mix. So Luis Rengifo is a veteran that's been around, but fits into their culture right out of the gates because he sits the first 2 days. Same with David Hamilton. Like, it's a tough thing to just pick up where you left off, but it does appear, while learning how to win a little bit differently maybe this year, they have been able to build off of everything they were in 2025.
Exactly. Like you said, 97 wins is going to be hard to replicate. Obviously, 5-1 is better than 0-4 to start the year, which is a good thing. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, this team knows what their identity is. I mean, these guys that have been around, right? The Bryce Terangs, the Sal Freliks, obviously Christian Yelich has been around a while. But these guys that have been, and even a guy who's been there, Blake Perkins, who's up with the Major League Club right now, like these, and Lockridge, who was with there for a couple of months last year when they obviously went through some of those winning streaks. I mean, their 14-game winning streak, Lockridge was in it because Churio was hurt, right? So they've had these guys who know their identity, and the lineup, like you said, like it's probably better than it was last year if you have Vaughn and Churio in it. Last night, I mean, going later into that game, you had the last bottom of your 4 of your order were, I think, like 0 for 11, 0 for 12. Like, they were not having a great day, but then it only was a matter of time. And it's rare that you're going to have a day where that whole bottom of the lineup or a portion of your lineup is not hitting throughout 9 innings, right? It may happen through 6 or 7, right? Shane McClanahan was doing really good. I think took a no-hitter into the 5th or 6th the other night. And then Rasmussen was doing well as well. But eventually they're going to put pressure on you. And once you get that pressure started, once those guys are on base, once they start swiping bases, they lead majors in stolen bases at 15 right now. The next closest is the Rockies at 10. They're swiping bases again. And once they start doing that, that's going to be hard for pitchers and catchers to stop. And then it kind of seems to snowball from there through these first 6 games.
We are chatting with Hunter Baumgardt, our baseball go-to guy. Shows at 6 o'clock tonight, Hunter?
Yeah, shows at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll recap the week and look ahead to the weekend in Kansas City for the Brewers.
Has anything surprised you yet from this lineup or from this pitching staff, Hunter? Would you say there's a thing that surprised you the most about the start for the Brewers, or is it, they have done, like you said, a lot of what we expected, but maybe some things that you haven't expected?
I didn't necessarily. I mean, the offense looked pretty good coming into the season. I don't know if I thought they'd average 7.5 runs over the first 6 games. Like
Sure.
it's one thing to do that over a series, right? And it's one thing to do it against the White Sox. It's another to start doing it again against the Rays. And then, we'll see how the rest goes. And I know the Rays aren't going to be the Dodgers, but I think a step up, and their record will be better than the White Sox. They're a pesky team. The Rays play a little bit of the same style that the Brewers do. And we saw a little bit of that as well. So that, I think, a little bit, but also through one turn in the rotation, those starters, other than Brandon Sproat, obviously, were pretty good. I think the bullpen, probably, if I were to pinpoint one thing that is most surprising, not because they weren't good, but they've relied on the same guys for a few years, and eventually those arms seem to turn over more, right? The Jared Koenigs of the world, the Grant Andersons of the world. Grant Anderson has pitched really well over 5 innings, 4 games so far. And he's been put in some leverage spots yesterday in a tie ball game in the 7th inning. So to be able to rely on more guys than not in that bullpen, guys like Woodford who have come in and done well, DL Hall, Aaron Ashby's done what he did last year so far. And Trevor McGill obviously had the hiccup the other night. But the only loss by the Brewers right now is by 1 run, and that was by a 2-out double that Trevor McGill left a high fastball up, and Fortes loves high fastballs, and that's the difference between a 5-1 and a 6-0 team right now. It's not like it's not like they're winning kind of just by the skin of their teeth either. They got a 14-2 win in there, they got an 8-2 win in there, they got a 9-7 win. Like, they've won a bunch of different ways. Bryce Terang said that in the clubhouse yesterday. It's like, we're showing we can win in a bunch of different ways. So surprising, I'd say the bullpen, but I shouldn't be surprised because the Brewers bullpen has been good for so many years. But I'd say just for this 2026 team, that was kind of like, okay, how are the pieces going to fit? So far, they're fitting really well.
Hunter, you mentioned Bryce Terang just there. Is it just me? Is he getting to be more talkative? Is he getting more comfortable being interviewed?
A little bit like it.
Did the World Baseball Classic experience, being around those guys, is he settling in? Because the joke amongst us in the media was he was not a go-to guy for pithy post-game comments. Is he improving in that regard?
I think if you're going to be as good as Bryce Terang has been, you kind of need to be a go-to guy in the clubhouse, and that's what it's proven to be, because that guy is just hitting the cover off the baseball. I was at that home run yesterday. I was I just was marveling. His swing just looks so easy. And I know there's a lot to it. And there's, they work on this stuff every day and every night, and they're getting better, and through spring training and the offseason, all that. But boy, it just looks like sometimes he puts the bat out there and the ball just soars, and it soars over the fence. And so, yeah, I think he is. I enjoy. Yeah, he's definitely coming up with more. He was a lot of cliches earlier in his career, last couple of years maybe. But it does seem that he is coming up with maybe a little more thoughtful answers, and we see that with a lot with players. It's not just maybe Bryce Terang, but Bryce Terang I think maybe was more of an extreme example of just kind of going through the flow of an interview and talking more in the cliche realm. But now you can know that when you talk to him, you're going to get more of a thoughtful answer. You're going to get kind of what's going on, more in the mind of Bryce Terang, which I think we all are interested in because of how good he is right now, and turning into. I mean, it's like he hits the home run, and then the next inning he makes a diving stop. I mean, it's just that type of stuff. And then you go to and I think one thing that's kind of unsung here, the top of the 8th inning ends in a double play that Ortiz gets to a ball that, he makes it look easy, but not every shortstop's going to get to that ball, right? It's a double play. Quickly turned by Bryce Terang, who makes a fantastic turn at second. Then all of a sudden it's a 6-run inning in the bottom of it. That gets through. It's 1 out and the Rays have 2 on.
Yeah.
And so these things that it's offense turning into defense. It's defense turning into offense. Like however you want to spin it, it's just complimentary right now. And so Bryce Terang, obviously we know he's good at every level, but boy, it just that stock continues to go towards the moon.
I love it. Well, Hunter, what was the reaction? Obviously, it was a scary moment when CB Buckner got hit and had to exit, and the umpires had to make it with a 3-man crew, probably for the first time since they were AA. Did any players talk about that? Because I thought the interesting thing was that for all of the recent headlines and the jokes on social media, when he got hit, CB Buckner was having a perfect game. He was like, granted, we were in the top of the second inning.
Plenty of time to CB it, but yeah.
We were at an inning and 2/3 so far, but he hadn't missed a pitch. Like he hadn't had a challenge and he hadn't really had an egregious miss, and then he got knocked out of the game. Did any of the players react? Did you talk to Contreras or anybody about it?
Didn't talk to Contreras, but we talked to Yelich and Mizorowski both about it, and they were just like, yeah, didn't love seeing that. I think Miz was a little shook up about that. I mean, I'm sure you can be. You throw 100 miles an hour and the ball is foul tipped and it hits him, and you see CB's reaction. And no matter what happened the night before, you never want to see that. And so, yeah, it's unfortunate. And at first, it's like, a lot of those guys will just get hit and they'll keep going. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Sure.
They're for better or for worse. But this was a smart decision. I mean, 100 to the face mask. And Rock was saying,
yeah, Contreras gave the wave over to the training staff, like, hey, somebody better get over here. I'm not trained to be doing this.
And I thought there was a tell. Like, first of all, you saw was it Chad Fairburn, the first base ump, goes down,
start walking inside.
He goes to get the gear on, so we're gonna have a change. So it was like a 20-minute delay. But then when they walked him off, the Brewers medical guys, the athletic trainers, they helped him down through the Brewer side. Now the umpires clubhouse is through the visitors tunnel, and you go through the third. But they took him to the Brewers, so I mean, he's getting further.
They were doing more evals,
or they're meeting the doctor in the Brewers clubhouse. That was
check
my
him
take.
out and everything like that.
That was my take.
One thing I said earlier in the show, Hunter, and it's true. I mean, one thing we never expected is for CB Buckner to be getting a standing ovation when he came off the field when we started that game. So that you never know what you're going to find.
First time in his career.
Never know what you'll see at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Now, our friend Boss Dobler was ready to make the joke about Garrett Mitchell, and he's like, well, nice to see him add in and factor in. The ire up might be for Sal Frelick over the next couple of days, because it does feel like he's trying to find his way through. Yeah. But when you try to get some confidence, we were talking about it yesterday. I almost feel bad for Garrett because he hasn't played in so long, right? It's got to be difficult to get a real rhythm when you play in so few games over the last number of years. But just confidence growing through the locker room. How do you feel like that's at with some of those guys who are in, platoon situations where clearly, talking about roles with the Packers, their role they would much prefer would be to be playing every single day?
So far, it seems Hamilton and Rengifo have been doing a pretty good job of that, of being able to be ready to go. Hamilton using that speed on the bases, dropping down a bunt, different things like that. It seems they're still engaged and ready to go when their number is called. Center field, really, too. I think, some of Garrett Mitchell's at-bats have not looked great. I mean, to be honest with you, I think he'd tell you that. But he's also, like you said, getting the feel for it. It's one thing to go through spring training. It's another to be in the regular season. I think that double yesterday is huge. I think it's huge for his confidence. I think it's maybe even in the coaching staff as well, because some of those strikeouts and some of those balls he's watching down the middle just doesn't seem like Garrett Mitchell kind of, right? And so I think that double down the line will help him. I think Sal Frelick, right, there's not all 9 guys in this lineup are going to come into the season and be hitting. I mean, most of them are, it seems, through the first 6 games. But there's going to be a guy or two who are not going to have a great hot start. And I think Frelick has like 3 hits so far in the first 6 games, which obviously we know he's better than that. One of them being that home run on opening day. But I have a confidence that'll turn around. So it'll be interesting because I think they bat, Garrett Mitchell has hit 5th in that lineup at times so far this season. I think there is still an effort to get him at bats and get him in that lineup. Now, Lockridge had a good spring, and they're obviously putting him in there too. And with obviously Churio out, they're putting him in left sometimes. So you could see that. Perkins was in there yesterday. But I do think the Brewers, this is how they win. They use every man on that roster, whether it's the bullpen, whether it's the starters, whether it's the offensive players. And so I think that when you come into the Brewers that, unless you're maybe a Bryce Terang, right, who's going to play every day. Otherwise, you look at Sal Frelick and Bryce Terang, and then obviously Contreras behind the plate. But that's only 3 of your 8 guys offensively that are like locked in every day. Otherwise, Bowers is probably but you probably play Sanchez against a lefty, and then shortstop has even been kind of a platoon. They like to get Hamilton some playing time over there. Yeah. Third base has been every other, and left and center is kind of who's going to play there. So they've really moved things around offensively. And it seems it's worked through the first 6 games because their offense is still humming no matter who is in there.
Hunter, you mentioned Jackson Chourio. It strikes me that it was a week ago today that we found out that Chourio was going to be on the shelf to start the season. Stunning news. Brewers 5-1 without him. But that's a good opportunity for Hunter to spin through the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report. OrthoWisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. The best in the business, world-class care right here close to home. Hunter, what's the outlook? Is Chourio doing anything? Have you any updates on some of the injured fellas and maybe even the guys that are throwing and pitching in Arizona at this point?
Yes, I got some of it right in front of me here, folks. Let's see.
Now we're talking.
He was ready for the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury
doing.
update.
Yes.
Chourio is receiving conservative care on his fracture. His estimated return still mid to late April. So originally 2 to 4 weeks. 2 is probably on the probably not going to happen because 2 weeks would be April 9th. So I would guess anytime between the 16th and the 30th for Jackson Chourio. Let's see here. Logan Henderson pitched well. He's still building up in Nashville, but he had that elbow soreness, but he's doing better. Priester is so he's traveling to Arizona now and start his live BP phase. So he's basically restarting spring training. So he's doing exactly what the pitchers would do. Maybe not exactly because he's come back from an injury, but pretty close to what the pitchers did in spring training, right? Live BP, pitch in a game, build up. So hoping to get to Nashville to begin a rehab assignment. It says early April. So I would think in a week and a half, maybe 10 days, you'll see him in Nashville. Quinn Priester. Seems all things are going well there. Andrew Vaughn had that surgery. His estimated return is mid-May. Craig Yoho is projected to return mid to late April. His first bullpen scheduled for today. Rob Zastrisny has started his rehab assignment in Nashville. So has Stuart Baroa, and also Akil Baddoo still in June, his return there. So those are your updates there on all of the Brewers that are currently rehabbing.
Hunter doing the digging and the research to make sure every guy get all the medical records. Well done, Hunter.
OrthoWisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Hey. There is a difference.
What a list of guys on a 5-1 team that still have to come back too. That's the thing I take away from that. The cavalry is coming. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, and when Vaughn and Chourio come back, it'll shake things up.
Yeah, Quinn. Yeah,
it only lengthens that lineup.
Here's one for you. I'll leave you with this, Hunter, because a friend of mine is coming into town at the end of the month. And he's looking at the pitching matchups yesterday. Mizorowski, we're still on the Mizorowski and Skeens both pitched yesterday. Pirates come to town at the end of the month. He's like, what's the chances that they line up? And I was doing the every 5-day thing. If they stayed on 5-man rotation,
tell me it's Sunday
with the off days, it would be the Sunday game of the Pittsburgh. But Brewers have 4 off days between now and then. They're gonna slide, guys. I said bet the under. Like you might miss them both in the series.
Well,
just don't be on Saturday because I got to watch day 4 or day 3 of the NFL draft on that Saturday. So if they're going to pitch that matchup, do it on Sunday. Come on. Right. And my wife leaves that day, so I can go and talk about a Viking kickoff with a Skeens Mizorowski day.
But that's a couple weeks down the road. We can start doing the math like 10 days out. We can start forecasting that.
I'm excited.
I told him that would be great, but bet the under.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to have Mizorowski pitch in the series. If you don't face Skeens, I don't know if I'm going to be too broken up about it from a Brewers side of things. We'd love to see it. Obviously, another Miz Skeens matchup would be awesome. It'd be great for the story. But if you're the Brewers and you miss Skeens, it's like, oh, darn it. Oh, snap. We miss Skeens,
Yeah, darn.
What do you mean? We got another chance that him and his 9 ERA. I'm not even that worried about it. He barely even gets out of the first.
It went down from 67 yesterday. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it did somehow get himself down there.
Played.
Paper Tiger.
Hunter, thank you for joining us. We look forward to listening to Milwaukee baseball tonight at 6 p.m. this evening as you go through all of the stuff that's happened in the first week.
Yes, absolutely. It's all brought to you by Import Minded. Looking forward to it. You can watch right here if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or X. We'll have it for you at 6 o'clock. Otherwise, of course, Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and on the iHeartRadio app. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Hunter Baumgardt. When we come back, our Wake and Bake story brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code Huddle for 25% off and free shipping. That'll help us close things out on a Thursday in the Good Land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. The Huddle, closing ceremonies. Three guys who are happy with their roles at work right now.
Yes.
Unlike many of the Packers under trying circumstances last year.
That's what I like to hear, Drew. Listen, you can't always have the job that you want right now. But you know what you can do? You can dominate the job you got right now to then earn more opportunity going forward, right? So like, hey, no block, no rock. Maybe we learned that last year with our roles being divided out and potentially the wide receiver room that they're going to learn in New England.
Don't you remember your coach always told you the biggest star on the team is the guy that stars the most in his role? You be a star in your role. Like that is
what they told the managers.
That's right. Who's fulfilling their potential the most? That's what they tell. There's something to that. I think there's something to that. So maybe we'll see. Listen, if we see more of a more harmonious, maybe, locker room this year, will it result in more wins or that we think we should get? Maybe. You'd like to think that because I think that we as Packer fans believe there's more to be left. There's more left in the field. There's more wins to be had on the scoreboard based on the talent we have than what we saw. And especially some of the ways the Packers lost late, you wonder if that could have an impact. So hopefully they're trying to figure that out.
Right. Time for our Wake and Bake story brought to us by our pals Rob and Chris, proprietors of happyplacehemp.com. They work out of Muskego. You can go to the store or you can order online. And if you use the code HUDDLE, 25% off and free shipping every time you go to the well with our pals from happyplacehemp.com. Drift Seltzer weekend's coming up. If you've not tried it yet, the Drift Seltzer is amazing. Got to get some more. I got to add some more to the fridge. I got a space in the fridge carved out just for some Drift Seltzer that I need to pick up. Billy, what's our Wake and Bake story in honor of Happy Place?
Well, and the best thing is, Drew, we talk about complimentary football, complimentary baseball. This is complementary to each other because Happy Place Hemp is going to help you enjoy that Hershey will shift back to the classic Reese's recipe.
Oh, let's go.
After backlash, most notably from the grandson of the Reese's founder. He criticized that I've been eating this every day.
Oh, wow.
Since I was born, since I was a young boy. And they changed this. They changed the chocolate that's been in here. Reese's has always been made of real milk chocolate or dark chocolate with peanut butter. But a small portion of Hershey's and Reese's products, like the Easter mini eggs, are now available with a coat that will contain less chocolate. Turn it back to its original recipes. And in 2027, they will fully shift back to the classic milk chocolate.
How about that? He spoke up and made a difference. He made change.
Let's go.
Incredible.
Listen, you want to really, really enjoy that Reese's? You grab yourself a couple of a Drift Seltzer and then a big old bag of Reese's eggs. I prefer the Christmas trees more because I think you get more bang for your buck there, or the hearts, whichever one it is. Drew, that's going to make it an elite experience.
Outstanding. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks to Dolphin Hunter. Let's get it.
Peace.